Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Guapish. As always, I'm your host, Nico, and today I'm being joined by the only man who has never touched a PS3 or 360, and as such is just going to be going off of Metacritic scores today, Tanner.
That's right, guys. I love aggregate scoring systems because they're the least trustworthy.
And we've also got the first ever and only PlayStation All-Stars Pro, Jackson.
I'm just going to get this out of the way early. I fucking hate all of you, and y'all have terrible opinions.
Aw.
And the man with the most correct opinions, Dylan.
Yeah, that's right, buddy. Step aside. This list is made for me. You can see yourself out the door now.
And if you guys have eyeballs, or maybe you're listening to this on audio platforms, in which case, thank you for doing that, we are going to be ranking the top 10 PS3 and Xbox 360 era games for you in a big old top 10. If you watch our Wii version of this, it's going to be very similar to that. However, this is a generation that I think is going to be particularly interesting to talk about because this one was pretty fucking lengthy, and there are a lot of great exclusives on each console, and there are a lot of great games that people just really fucking love, okay? That also, coincidentally, I hate, and I know you motherfuckers are going to put on your list, and it's going to make me irate that they're going to end up on the overall top 10, but I'm going to argue till I'm black and blue anyway. Who wants to start off with their first game?
Dude, I figure we'll go in order that's on the screen, so I'll kick us off.
Fantastic, go for it.
So the first one that I am going to throw up there is none other than Left 4 Dead 2.
Ooh, that's a fun one.
That's an interesting choice. I had a feeling one of you boys would be throwing that on there.
I'm assuming this is in descending order, yes? That's your, number one top favorite?
No, that's... mine aren't in order again.
Gotcha.
I'm just gonna throw them up in whatever order I fucking want to.
Okay.
Yeah, mine also are not in order, except for my number one. That's just head and shoulders better and more influential than the rest of the games on my list, which I won't be talking about yet, because I'll be doing my... number 10, I guess, Halo Reach.
Ooh, yes. Good choice. And is objectively one of the right choices.
Yeah, you know, it's the best Halo game. I know there are a lot of people out there going to be like, actually Halo 3 is? Hey, putty, grow up. No, it's not. You just have nostalgia goggles on because that's when you got your big ol' Xbox Live card and were able to play with your friends for the first time.
Anywho, I'm a PS3 boy. I've never owned an Xbox, so that's my perspective. I don't think it's really going to change much. Also, my list isn't ordered as well. The first game on my list is Black Ops 2.
Holy smokes. Also a good choice. Multiplayer or zombies, or even campaign.
The whole fucking package, baby. We're not voting on just one of them.
Works for me, buddy. I appreciate all of that. I'd love to see how this list is gonna pan out. We're already running into problems here.
Dylan, pick the longest title on your list first.
Oh man, that's gonna screw it up. I actually have mine in order, but just to be funny and to add to your bit, no, I'm not gonna do that. So at my number 10, I have Burnout Revenge.
Okay. A solid racing game, potentially the only one we'll see.
I expect Jackson to have one, but I also wanted variety on my list, and this one, it was fun enough for me to include on my list, so I thought, why not, you know?
Fair enough. Jackson's gonna include some, Gran Turismo or some shit like that. Some terrible racing sim.
Well, I don't know, maybe.
Since Nico mentioned it, I guess I'll throw this one out there now. Halo 3.
Boo!
You knew it had to happen at some point, dude. I feel like we might each have different Halos on our lists.
I've never played this one. I just know it's widely regarded as the best one.
Wait,
have you played? Undeservedly so.
Okay.
Like I said, Dylan, Tanner just looked at the Metacritic scores. That's how he's doing his list.
That's right, he's a Nintendo guy.
Actually, is it... There are I think 3 or 4 on my list that I haven't played because I didn't play very much of this generation. It was just because, I didn't own either of these consoles when they were in vogue. So it's just stuff that I happened to go back and play on, my PS5 or my PS4 or my Xbox One.
Fair enough, dude.
Alright, it looks like I'm up next here. I'm going to be going with Nier, the very first Nier game.
There we go. I'm surprised it's not your number one.
I mean, you know, I can gush about this game, and I absolutely will be when you guys are saying I need to take it off of here, but it's not number one. I mean, come on.
Fair enough, dude.
Anywho, the next one on my list is Grand Theft Auto 5.
There we go. That's a OG right there. Appreciate you for that one.
We knew we'd be seeing it.
I mean, yeah, if this one isn't on the overall list, that would be shocking.
Surprisingly, don't even actually have this one on my list, even though I play it a shit ton today. Next, my number 9, Castle Crashers.
Whoa. That was originally going to be my number 9, then I took it off for Nier.
That's fair enough. I don't know. I think Castle Crashers is a cute, fun little game. It's a romp of a time.
Castle Crashers is a good pick. It's probably the one that stands the best chance of being an indie rep for us.
Fair enough. It is solid.
My next one, I guess I'll throw up Grand Theft Auto 5 as well.
There we go. Yeah, I only played this like
normies.
a tiny bit, but like it wasn't like, I don't know. I never got super into it back then, but you know, I've had a GTA character for that long, so that's the only thing I can boast about.
And something I'm boasting about is including this bad boy on our list, Rayman Legends.
Ooh, amazing choice. I love that choice for you, actually, very much. Optimal choice over Origins.
One of the few platformers on these consoles, and it's just the best one at that.
That one was one of the last ones to be eliminated before I, figured out my top 10.
Gotcha.
Good to hear, at least.
My next one is Need for Speed Most Wanted.
There it is. Not a Gran Turismo, but...
Gran Turismo can kiss my ass.
The Need for Speeds are also pretty dang decent, too.
Number 8, surprisingly enough, also Rayman Legends. I fucking love that game. It's great.
Yay!
My good old boy, Sean, got me onto the game, and it's grand step up from Rayman Origins, gotta say.
Dude, Sean's a legend for doing that.
Dude, I love the parkour in this game. It feels so satisfying and fluid when you get it down.
And this is the part where Tanner says, speaking of parkour, I'm going to be putting Mirror's Edge up.
No, incorrect.
Damn.
Let's see,
Damn.
what one do I want to put up next? My next one we'll say is the original Call of Duty Black Ops.
Pretty good choice.
Valid.
Dude, you can play Zork in that one.
Zork.
Yeah. It's a text-based adventure game. And as for my next pick, I'm going to be going with another shooter, Vanquish.
Whatever that shit is.
I know nothing about this game.
I kept looking at that one and just never pulled the trigger on putting it on my list.
Dylan and Jackson never heard of it. Shit, goes to show that you guys never watch our content. We literally played this game on the channel.
Yeah, I don't watch your content facts.
Did we?
Yes.
I don't remember.
I mean, you didn't. Lucas was there for that, but...
That's unfortunate. I don't think I watched that portion. I'm sorry.
Anywho, my next one is, of course, the classic Sonic the Hedgehog.
There we go. Which one?
06.
All right. My next pick. Probably the only time this is going to show up on anybody's list. Guitar Hero World Tour. Fucking love me my rhythm-based music games, dude. What can I say? Fucking, this is the game that made me really good at rhythm-based games.
I mean, that one was good, but it's no Guitar Hero 3.
I liked it more than Guitar Hero 3 just because in Guitar Hero World Tour you had the drums and the microphone. It was just more song and more variety, dude. I don't know.
It's not more song. There's different songs than Guitar Hero 3 does.
I don't know. I think that Guitar Hero World Tour was overall a better experience.
We'll get into the discussion on song selection later. Tanner, what's your next one?
Next up, let's do Portal 2.
Oh.
I knew these fucking Valve games were going to be making it on here. Did you include the fucking Orange Box Collection 2, you piece of shit?
No, I don't know what that is.
There we go.
It's the pack that came with fucking Half-Life, why am I blanking on the names right now? TFT, and then it came with one other game. I don't remember what the fuck it was, though. Oh, well. Alright, my next one that I'm shocked Tanner's not yet mentioned, Batman Arkham City. The game that I gotta say really got me into the Black Knight himself, the Dark Knight, as it were.
Good choice, good choice.
Personally, my next one is fucking Sonic Rider Zero Gravity.
There we go. There is another Sonic representation. Crazy.
I think we can get a few more on here.
I will not be contributing to that, so it's all on Jackson at this point, I guess. Man loves his Sonic the Hedgehog. What can I say? He probably saw all 3 of the movies, too. Anyway, my next pick is going to be BioShock. I'm sure some of the other games would have been on my list if I had actually played them, but I hadn't. So BioShock is the one representing here.
No, the first BioShock is the best one.
I kind of figured that was the case.
Crazy stuff. Yeah, I'll throw up my Batman Arkham City as well then.
Yay!
This is going to be a purely representationally presented list. The only games that are going to make it are ones that are up here more than once. I fear my chances are very slim.
As for my next game, I'm going to be going with Metal Gear Rising Revengeance.
Jesus. Such a long name.
Anywho, my next one is Ratchet and Clank Tools of Destruction.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Dude, you're a tool.
Oof.
True.
Was Deadlocked this era, or was Deadlocked PlayStation 2? I feel like it was PlayStation 2.
I simply don't know, man. I haven't kept up to date with my Ratchet and Clank lore.
Unfortunate, dude. I love that one, quite frankly.
When you said that, I thought you were talking about just the game called Deadlocked. And I was like, oh, I mean, that was a PS5 launch title, Dylan.
No. Anyway, speaking of launch titles, my next pick is Black Ops 2. What can I say? I'm a sucker for zombies, dude. And the campaign I've beaten too many times to count.
Okay, my next one, I'm gonna put up Sleeping Dogs.
I did not know this was a 360 PlayStation 3 era. I thought this was only on next gen. Unless I'm thinking of a different game, which is possible.
You might be thinking of Waking Dogs.
No, is Sleeping Dogs the one where you're like basically like hacking things with like drones and shit? And
No, that's Watch Dogs.
okay, so I was thinking of something else.
I do mix the two up fairly frequently as well, Dylan. That's fair.
Fair.
Up next for me, though, speaking of Dylan, I also included BioShock.
Hey, dude. Great game. Love the mechanics, love the story.
I love that Big Daddy.
People are scared of the game, though. They think that it's more of a horror game than it actually is.
It's a little spooky.
It can be.
I've never played a BioShock game.
They're fun. Well, the first one is.
Anywho, my next one is Borderlands 2.
Hey, my guy! I forgot about Borderlands 2. That's funny.
That's shocking.
There's reasons. Don't worry about it.
I fully expected Borderlands 2 to be one of your picks, not Jackson's. Although I did have a funny feeling Jackson might also include a
I played
Borderlands
the
game.
fuck out of Borderlands 2.
I know you did, man.
It is the one with the highest replay value, from what I've heard. To be fair, though, Borderlands 2 I didn't actually play in that era, which I guess I fumbled that one, but I'll get to that later.
I was heavily considering including Borderlands 2 as well.
You fucking freaks. Oh my god.
Anyway, next on my list, number 4 is Halo Reach.
Let's go.
Listen, man, it was a choice between Halo Reach and Halo 4, and gotta say, Halo Reach was the better overall experience.
I mean, yeah, over Halo 4, are you kidding? Absolutely.
I played a lot of Halo 4 multiplayer, and I mostly played Infection, so I guess it doesn't count.
Reach is the one that introduced armor abilities, right?
I believe so. Also, Forge World was the best on Halo Reach as well.
Oh, yeah.
Next up, I am going to include the Jackbox Party Pack.
Ooh. That's solid. I didn't think of that one. It's always a good time.
I didn't realize that this started off on the on this era
This is
of
the
games.
one I was asking questions about. It released cross-gen on the PS3 and PS4.
Gotcha, okay. Well, for my next game here, I've got Asura's Wrath.
I think I saw this guy do a death battle with Kratos. Am I wrong in saying that? Is that the guy
No,
I'm
that's
thinking
right.
of? Holy shit, this guy is fucking crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Anywho, my next one is Left 4 Dead 2.
There we go. More representation. Wait, is Asura's Wrath the fucking God of War representation on Xbox?
Kind of.
Okay. I kind of figured that was the case.
They're definitely their parallels.
Yeah, I remember. They figured each console had their thing. Anyway, next up here for me, number 3 is Borderlands. The reason I didn't do 2 is because I didn't actually play it on the 360, but still technically released in that era, so I didn't make that correlation, unfortunately. But I have beaten Borderlands 1 the most out of all of them, so that says something.
I'm just shocked that Tanner included on his list. Wait, did he? Oh,
No, I said I was considering including it on my list.
I'm just shocked that you would even consider it. It seems like the sort of thing you would fucking hate.
Why is that?
I'll get to it.
Okay.
Insanely boring intro and grind.
That's not it. But also, yes.
Bad humor.
Okay. We're in the final 2 for everyone, I think.
Yes, sir.
So I'll include the one that Nico will hate the most for last. So,
Oh, boy.
Telltale's The Walking Dead.
I knew you'd include this one, man. I was waiting for it.
Man loves his Walking Dead, dude. What can he say?
Okay, so either Tanner's last one is going to be The Last of Us or one of the Uncharted's. I'm shocked that both are not on his list, though.
It's probably going to be Uncharted, to be completely real.
He does seem to love Uncharted much more than The Last of Us. Which, like, if The Last of Us doesn't make it on here, I mean, I'll be happy, but I'll just be surprised. Anyway, for my next one, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
You would choose a fighting game, you son of a bitch.
I'm also surprised Tanner did not include a fighting game on his list.
Tanner has taste.
I'm surprised as well, to be honest. The only one I would have included would have been like Street Fighter 4, and I just didn't feel like including it.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's the root of it, dude.
Anywho, my next one is Far Cry 3.
Ooh. I tried to get into that one. Didn't quite click with me, unfortunately. My next pick is gonna be Gears of War 3. Fucking love that game. That franchise as a whole is pretty fucking sweet.
Very expectingly, we have so little overlap in our games here.
There's more variety here.
There is.
Gears of War 3 was on my list until I got the clarification that allowed me to include Jackbox.
It was either Gears 3 or Gears 2. It was insanely hard to choose between which of the two I liked more.
Okay, and my final game.
Oh man, here we go.
It is, in fact, The Last of Us.
There it is.
To be honest, I'm kind of disappointed you didn't include an Uncharted.
You're disappointed?
Yeah.
Obviously, I like those games. I think they're very fun. But they don't stand out in my mind enough for me to want to include them.
I did do a little prep work beforehand to think of like, okay, what are the big games this generation that I despise? And so that I can think of some things to say to just cut deep into you fuckers. And I wrote a lot about Uncharted. Unfortunately, it's all going to go wasted now.
Damn.
Sucks to suck, buddy.
Alright, for my last game, though, you know it had to be here. It is, of course, Dark Souls.
Huh.
I think this Nico guy's retarded.
Dude, I'm just going to tell the audience right now, look at my list. This is the definitive top 10 games of this generation. These fuckers don't know what they're talking about. You can end the video right here.
I think there's definitely a game in there that's not like the others on your list, but I mean, it's,
I am including the timestamp that skips straight to Guapish at the movies on screen right now. Please skip there if this was the only thing that you were looking for.
Anywho, my next game is the original Prototype.
Here we go.
Oh, interesting.
I'm shocked that there isn't a game that I'm thinking of on your list, Nico, but at the same time, I think I understand why it's not on your list. And I guess without further ado, my number one pick, as is no surprise to any of you, I'm sure. You motherfucker, you knew it before I started saying it. Yeah, Destiny.
You know it was going to be here,
crazy
guys.
is the whole time I was making my list, I was like, man, if I had ever played any of the Infamous games, I know they'd be on my list.
I was literally
but alas,
going to
I
mention.
have not played them.
I was like, damn, I feel like Infamous would have been so up Tanner's alley, and he would have included that on here.
That Infamous is the number one game where I'm like, I know for a fact I would fucking love this. I just have not played it.
Which games on your list you said you had 3 games you hadn't played. Which ones are they, Tanner?
I've never played Halo 3, Grand Theft Auto 5. I think I've played all the other ones.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Fantastic. Well, here are our top 10s, folks. This is where things are going to start getting a little bloody, though, unfortunately.
Yes, sir.
All right, so to start with, we should probably go ahead and knock out a few off our list that we don't think should probably make it on there.
Burnout
Correct.
Revenge.
Oh, that's kind of a bummer.
I mean, let me get one. I played the shit out of this game. I love this game. The only reason I think I liked it is because you could blow up other cars and wreck other cars. But if I'm going to be real, out of all the games on my list, that's probably the least likely to make it on the list.
I'm going with Halo Reach. You know,
Oof.
unfortunately, like, it is the best Halo game, but also, I just think there are better shooters on on these consoles.
True.
I'll go ahead and cross out Halo 3 for me, because that is one I've never played it, so like I just would not be able to try
It
defending it.
just seems like such a waste for you to put it on your list and for you to immediately eliminate it when you could have used that slot for a game you actually played and enjoyed.
Honestly, this was stretching me pretty far on stuff I have played already.
I mean, you said you could have put Uncharted on the list, so there's at least that slot.
I think Halo 3 deserves to at least be an honorable mention more than an Uncharted game.
That's basically why I included Halo Reach. I knew I was going to cut it, but I was like, it should be mentioned at least.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I had a few honorable mentions, but probably games you've never heard of. So,
Anywho, I'm gonna cut Sonic Riders Zero Gravity.
What?
damn.
Damn.
That seemed like the one you were most hyped to talk about, though.
Oh well.
Damn.
All right.
He has spoken.
Okay, we'll go back to, we'll just do the same order for cutting them.
Cotton.
Fick. Man, I really don't want to, but I think I'm gonna cut Batman Arkham City.
Damn.
I'm surprised it wasn't GTA 5, considering it's the other one you didn't play.
I know, but like, I think we would look like such complete fucking hacks if GTA 5 isn't on the final list.
That's fair, I guess, but I feel like there's at least one person here who would argue against that.
I mean, like, here's the thing. I would prefer it to not be on there. But, like, I do acknowledge that it should probably end up on it.
That's
Right.
fair enough, dude.
It's probably got to be the one game where it's like, I disagree with it ending up on there, but it should be.
I
Right.
don't have it on my list, but I can at least defend it, so.
By the way, no one included Skyrim. That one shocks me to my very core. Holy shit.
I am shocked I didn't put that. I played, little side note story, I came home after school every day and played that shit for minimum 3 hours. I am actually shocked I didn't put that on my list, you're right.
Bummer.
Damn.
There's simply too many games. There are so many massive snubs, to be frank. Like, we're not surviving the comment section on this one.
Fuck them. They're gonna be saying shit like, you didn't include Mass Effect? What's wrong with you? Fuck you, those games aren't good. Die.
Jesus. Anyway, Nico, what's your next
What one are
elimination?
you getting rid of, Nico?
I'd probably go Batman as well, unfortunately.
Damn.
Bummer. We don't have any Assassin's Creed games on here.
I mean, fuck
Eh.
those two, dude.
I like Assassin's Creed 3, but I don't remember if that was 360 or not.
I played it on PS3. I was considering that one. It's the only Assassin's Creed game I've played.
I was considering Black Flag. That was the one that got me into the series.
Anywho, I'm cutting Ratchet and Clank.
Oof.
Womp womp.
I had fun with that game, and I liked it a lot. I think it was inventive, but I'm not super attached to it.
Yeah. Man. I mean, I know this is jumping the list, so it doesn't make sense to make this choice, but if we're going in terms of what makes it and what doesn't, I'm gonna cut Guitar Hero World Tour.
I think that's probably the correct move.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love me Guitar Hero rhythm-based games, but I don't share that fancy with many other people besides maybe Jackson, and I don't think he played Guitar Hero, so
Yeah, I've never played Guitar Hero, really.
there we go.
Yeah. Man, I think Halo 3 and Batman Arkham City are cuts where I'm like, yeah, okay, I can justify cutting that. The rest of these, I'm like, fuck, these are all brutal cuts.
Dude, get rid of Black Ops.
I just don't agree with you.
Do you
there,
really
man.
think you have a solid enough argument to overcome two people who put Black Ops 2 on their list?
That's fair enough, I guess. Okay, bye-bye, Black Ops.
Unfortunate. It did have kind of fun zombies, and the story was okay, but
It has the FAMAS in it, goddammit.
I take like origin points into much greater regard than you guys.
That's
Which is
fair,
a fucking
dude.
terrible idea. Jesus Christ, you stupid piece of shit. I think I'm cutting Metal Gear Rising.
Yeah, people only liked it 12 years after it came out anyway.
A massive appreciation for Gears of War 1, but I still like 2 and 3 way more. It's not a matter of, whether the origin's bad or not. It's just how much more I enjoy the subsequent features.
Like, Tanner, are you really trying to tell me you like The Last of Us more than The Last of Us Part 2?
That's a tough one, because obviously I think the story is much better and tighter in the first one, but the gameplay is dramatically more fun in 2, so that's a toughie for me.
Anyways, I'm cutting Grand Theft Auto 5.
Brutal.
Oh.
Fun fact, never played the story of that game. All I've done with that game is play like 2 hours of online, and I hated it. And
That's about the average
go
experience.
over to my friends' houses and like spawn an Apache helicopter and fly around. And that's all I really do in that game.
Sounds about right.
Based!
Man, I want to keep Castle Crashers on here because that's a solid indie game representation. But
I mean, were there any other indie games from this generation we would have included? You think we'll put Fez on our list? I don't think so.
Dude, where the fuck is Super Meat Boy in Limbo?
I almost put Limbo on my list. Actually, I enjoyed
I actually
that
did
game.
think about
Limbo.
including Super Meat Boy.
Oh man, now it's a matter of do I want to get rid of Castle Crashers or Rayman?
Woof.
I think the easy choice is getting rid of Borderlands.
Yeah.
I disagree. There's a reason it's higher up on my list. I'll cut Rayman. Why not?
The question now is, do I decide to be the insane person who does knock Grand Theft Auto 5 out of the running?
I mean, you never played it, so like, what defense do you have for the game?
That's
I'm the
so
only one
true.
here with a positive viewpoint on GTA 5, so like, and I don't even have it on my list.
And we don't have any viewers anyway. No one will be making fun of us for this.
My only defense for including is like, yeah, it should probably be there.
Listen, dude, the only people who watch GTA content is how to get infinite money in glitch cars. They're not gonna care about
I
a
don't know what
podcast.
that has to do with anything.
That's also
well-
not true. People fucking love the GTA role-playing shit.
I fucking
Yeah.
think that's cringe as hell.
Dude,
anyway.
based!
I figured that was the normal answer.
I'll leave it for now. I'm gonna knock Portal 2. It's a great game. I think it's just most people would be like, well, that's a PC game though.
Yeah.
That would be my justification. Alright,
Get rid of Nier already.
no,
I
fuck
don't
you.
think that's gonna happen,
You
dude.
piece of shit. Die. I'm gonna knock off Vanquish.
I figured it was
Okay.
either that or Rayman. I'm surprised you didn't knock off Rayman.
No, dude. Rayman's fucking sweet.
I do agree. I didn't want to, but I think Castle
Everyone
Crashers
thinks
was a
all of their
solid
games
idea.
are sweet.
I'm trying to think of what would make this list easier for everybody.
There's nothing. We truly do not have enough overlap for this to be easy.
Not
Yeah.
anymore. It's all gone now. We eliminated the overlap.
I'm gonna cut. Left 4 Dead 2, I guess.
Ooh.
I
Okay.
really only played that on PC. I only had it on the list because it did technically come out for that generation, but I've only ever played it on PC.
And like
True.
people really only like it because how much you can mod it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hmm.
All the Patricks and SpongeBobs and shit running around everywhere.
There we go.
Fuck, dude. Alright, fine. I'll fucking bite the bullet since I know I'm not gonna get any representation for this anyway. I'll cut Borderlands. Fuck it. I like the
I
game.
thought you were about to say Destiny.
Well, no, that's my number one.
That'd be
I'm
insane.
gonna.
There's no way. He'd never do that. Honestly, I'm gonna join Jackson. I'm gonna knock Left 4 Dead 2 out.
Damn.
There we go.
I also only ever played it on PC.
That GTA 5 will last forever.
And you know what? I think the rest of my games should make it on there. I think I'm calling it good at this point.
Shut the fuck up.
What do you mean, dude?
No, you can't
Dude,
do
do
that.
you
gotta
see the
cut-
games
you
on my
gotta
list
cut,
right
You gotta
now?
cut one more.
These are
You gotta
all
cut one more.
fucking peak. Each and
Okay,
every one of
that's
them.
fine. You gotta cut one more.
Alright, I guess if I have to cut another one, I'll say Bioshock.
That is shocking.
Brutal.
No pun intended. Huh.
I just don't know what to fucking cut.
Yeah, he's contemplating. I feel like there's a really obvious one here, but maybe I'm crazy.
I think every single one of these could potentially be a really obvious one.
True.
I'm gonna cut. This is so hard, man. This is so hard. I'm gonna cut Prototype, I guess. That was also one I only really played on PC.
Interesting.
I was very scared you were gonna cut Black Ops 2, and I was gonna say, Jackson, hang on, that's the only one you shouldn't cut.
That was like 90% of my PlayStation playtime was Black Ops 2. Fucking Prototype, I think, is a great game. Enjoyed it. Very unique mechanics, but yeah, I only really played it on PC. I've got no nostalgia for it on that console at all.
And also, people just prefer the second one anyway.
Is that true? I feel like that's the exact opposite opinion.
I have no idea for Prototype, to be honest.
Very funny.
People definitely like the first one more.
Dude, this is rough.
You should cut BioShock to make Nico regret his decision.
I was actually thinking about cutting BioShock. It's a very fun game. The plot's fun. There is a lot of moments where the gameplay is frustrating and the mechanics are a bit clunky. But like I said, I think this is a good, at least one-time experience for anybody.
And worst of all, it introduced people to Ayn Rand.
Okay.
Anyway.
I'm gonna cut BioShock, unfortunately. I don't want to, but it feels like the right choice.
BioShock has an unparalleled atmosphere, though, and the twist for the game, Dylan. Think about the twist.
Well, dude, you eliminated off your list too, and I really want to see if I can at least get Castle Crashers on the list. I think that'd be funny. I just don't think I'd be able to convince these two that BioShock is as... It's hard to convince somebody who's never played BioShock that BioShock's good for some reason. I don't know what the
I'm going to be honest,
there is.
if it was BioShock Infinite, I would go for it.
Why is that? Oh, because of Elizabeth, okay.
Crazy.
She did revolutionize the porn scene, though, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but anyway.
Okay. I kind of think the next step... let's see if there are ones that people would not argue against winding up on the list.
Okay.
Black Ops 2.
Yeah, Black Ops 2 seems solid.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm gonna... Yeah, I guess I'll write that down. I personally would like Castle Crashers to end up on the list. Are there people who would argue against that one? Let's say argue against it absent it having to go over something else now.
I've never played that game, so I've got no opinion on it.
Yeah, I think I'd argue against it.
Damn.
Okay. Are we going to have an argument over Grand Theft Auto 5, or are we going to say it kind of has to be there?
I'll vote for it to be on the list for sure.
Dude, same, because it was on mine.
Yeah.
Nico's, I think, the only one here
Let's get it on there,
actively doesn't like the game, but...
I know I'm the only guy that plays racing games here, and frankly, I didn't even really play them back in the day of this era. I was, frankly, on your guys' side, staunchly against playing them.
I'm not against playing racing games, dude. It's just the bad ones.
Need for Speed Most Wanted is like widely touted as the GOAT of the Need for Speed franchise, and most people, when they ask you what their favorite, what the best racing game of all time is, they say Need for Speed Most Wanted. And I would agree. I think it's got some fun, unique mechanics for the time with the combat system of fucking the physics of ramming cops and shit. Had an interesting story. The car selection was pretty good. I feel like a racing game being in the top 10 makes sense personally.
Yeah, I mean, I only eliminated Burnout because that doesn't truly qualify as a racing game, and I don't think anybody else would hop on that boat. So the only thing that made Burnout fun is you could, like I said, crash other cars and shit. So
I think I could definitely be convinced of Need for Speed, but not right now, I'd say.
Halo Reach?
Yeah, sure. Reach. I'm not ready to put it on a short list right now.
Okay.
Personally.
I've never played any Halo games, so I have no opinion on that.
What about Dark Souls? I personally think it should wind up on the final list.
I do not enjoy Dark Souls, but I can acknowledge its value in the place on this list.
Sounds like my opinion doesn't matter. I couldn't care less for Dark Souls.
It is literally probably the most influential game out of any of these.
That's probably correct, yes.
On a wide scale, I'll agree.
Those are the only ones that scream to me they will certainly end up on the final list.
Okay.
What about The Last of Us?
The problem is, I know you fucking despise that game, and that
That's not
Dylan
true.
and Jackson
Only the
have
second
no
one.
special love for it. Oh, okay. What's your problem with the second one? Actually, that's a whole other conversation anyway. I mean, yeah, obviously, I think Last of Us should end up on the final list. Dylan, where do you stand on that?
Not super familiar with the franchise. I know it's very popular. I'm sure it's popular enough if it got its own show and all that shit. I'm fine if it is on the list. I'm sure it's had a big enough influence on the era.
Okay, what about you, Jackson? Do you have a strong opinion on that one?
No, never played it.
Crazy.
You watched the show, though. Didn't you like the show?
I watched the first 3 episodes of the show, and unfortunately it has little to do with the game.
True.
I mean, I don't want it on there either, so...
Oh. Okay, we'll leave it off for now.
Okay.
And this is where the teeth
Okay.
pulling begins.
Yeah, where do we want... I guess we'll start,
Should we go into who we think?
We'll start Jesus, that was a voice crack.
Hell yeah, it was, brother.
We'll start nominating cuts from other people's lists.
I mean, there's the most obvious one, right? There is a massive, glaring one screaming at us right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Jackson, Sonic 06 is pretty widely regarded as one of the worst games ever made. What's your argument for it?
I think it's fun.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Okay.
What about it did you enjoy?
The gameplay.
Okay.
Crazy.
I would vote to cut Sonic 06.
As would I.
You guys are all fucking haters. Motherfuckers even, frankly.
What about you, Dylan?
I know nothing about the game. I have no clue what kind of value this game holds. But it sounds
literally
like
had
none.
multiplayer. It was a romp.
I'm gonna look something up really quick. It's not sounding like... I'm hearing a lot of downsides and not a strong argument positively for it, so...
It was very bad, Dylan. It was an unfinished, glitchy mess. None of the characters moved correctly. You would constantly just fucking launch yourself through walls and shit. The load times were atrocious. It would take like 2 minutes to fucking load into anything. There would be like NPC side quests where you go up and talk to a guy and it needs to fucking load his text for you. So it's 2 minutes right there. Then he says, "Hey Sonic, can you break some boxes for me?" Then it's 2 minutes to load into the fucking side quest to break the boxes, which you complete in like 30 seconds. Then it's another 2 minutes of loading into him saying good job. Then it's another 2 minutes so you can get into the fucking hub world again.
Yeah, it also introduced Sonic kissing a human woman.
Yeah.
Which is the good part of the game.
I keep seeing things that say Sonic the Hedgehog 2006 is not as bad as everyone makes it out to be.
Yeah, there's a lot of revisionist history around this nowadays. It's like people are like, oh, dude, the prequels weren't that bad.
Huh.
Alas,
I mean,
my nostalgia goggles, I have no recollection of any of this other than just having a fun time playing the Sonic game.
That's fair enough, dude.
I mean, look, man, I was a child when this game came out as well. I'm sure I would have enjoyed it just as much as you did, but...
Make the call, Dylan. Are you gonna abstain, vote against, or vote for?
it's sounding like insane nostalgia time right now, so it doesn't sound like it's a very good game.
Okay, I'm gonna
Unfortunately.
cross it off then. You know what, Jackson, since you just had one of yours eliminated, how about you nominate the next one to get cut from someone?
The problem is, like, I've never fucking played, like, 90% of these, so I really just have no opinion. Like, I haven't played a single one of the games that Nico has nominated. I've only played GTA 5 on Tanner's list. I get Jackbox as well. So I don't fucking know. I want to... I'm gonna say the fucking fighting game, I guess. I couldn't care less for Marvel vs. Capcom. I know nothing about it. I don't like fighting games, so I'll say that one. I don't know.
Dude, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 was the fighting game of this generation, okay? This was the general public's first introduction to Rocket Raccoon. When he was announced for this game, people were like, what the fuck? Who's this raccoon guy who has guns? But what a strange pick for this video game. And now you cannot imagine a fucking Marvel game coming out that doesn't include him and Groot in it, alright? This game was also the one that made it Virgil from Devil May Cry a big deal. This dude fucking plagued this game and people loved it. They ate that shit up. As well as just the competitive scene for this game was very strong as well. People love this shit.
Yeah, I agree. Marvel vs. Capcom 3, very good, very cool, very sweet. I'd also vote to cut it.
You piece
Hell
of shit.
yeah.
What about you, Dylan?
I am indifferent to this game, but I don't like fighting games very much either.
Bye-bye.
God damn it.
Nico, your turn.
Oh boy. I'll leave Destiny alone for now. I'm sure we'll get around to it. I guess Sleeping Dogs, Tanner.
I won't put up a fight for that one. I think Sleeping Dogs is very cool. It's a GTA clone, basically.
I thought it was like a Yakuza clone.
Sure, same difference.
No, they're not. They're very different.
I've never played a Yakuza, man.
Oh, bummer.
There's no driving in Yakuza, right?
They're like some like go-kart shit that you can do, but
Okay, but no, I mean like GTA style where you can just get in whatever car and drive around.
gotcha. Yeah, not to my knowledge, no.
Yeah, that is in Sleeping Dogs. I'm
Okay.
sure maybe you'd say it's a hybrid between GTA and Sleeping Dog and Yakuza, but I think it's a very cool game. It's got fun combat, got tons of shit to do and whatever, and I have fond memories of it. But I don't need to waste everyone's time going to bat for it. My turn. Ooh. Nico.
Yeah.
I just don't see how you're gonna get the first Nier to show up on the end list. I've literally never even seen the game. I know nothing about it, and I assume that's true of Dylan and Jackson as well.
Facts.
Dude.
I'm guessing this isn't the one you guys played on the channel.
No.
That was Automata.
I figured.
Dude, listen, I'm sure that my words and my breath in general are going to be completely wasted here on you fucking mongoloids, alright? But what you need to understand about Nier is that this game has a very dreamlike and overall melancholic atmosphere that you just don't see in video games, alright? As well as the soundtrack for this game is literally... I am not being hyperbolic here whatsoever. This has the greatest soundtrack out of any other video game ever created. Just, the game explores these themes of existentialism, grief, and what it means to be human in a very amazing way. The characters are great throughout it. They're constantly changing and undergoing these immense tragedies that transform them, as well as just, by the end of it, it completely recontextualizes everything that you've gone throughout the entire game. As you need to come to terms with your actions when you realize that, oh yeah, despite all the sacrificing you've made up until this point, much like in The Last of Us, as it turns out, you're the bad guy at the end of the game and have irrevocably fucked up all of humanity. It is fucking killer. This shit is amazing. Go play Nier, please. Educate yourselves, guys.
I'll consider it.
Are there robots in this one?
No.
Okay. Your turn, Nico.
You piece of shit. There are still hot women. It has Cayenne in it, dude.
Oh, that's where she's from?
Dude,
Yeah, that's where she's from.
I love cayenne peppers as much as the next guy, but unfortunately, I'm just uneducated, and you're gonna have to be happy with our ignorance being what impeded you this
Anybody
day.
be happy with anybody's ignorance?
You stupid pieces of shit.
I feel like we're getting to the point where if we keep eliminating games, we won't have enough for the top 10 list, but...
That is the unfortunate thing. Remove the strike through Nier here, dude. Let's leave it for a bit. Let it simmer until we really knock out some more
to remove
games.
Nier. Dylan, Jackson, what say you?
Candy is kind of a cutie.
I know nothing about Nier. I figured Nier Automata was like the only game that existed, so...
No, sir. It's the second one.
Personally, I'm going to knock out Nier, though, because I want more chances for my games to be on the list.
Huh.
Brutal. Cutthroat even.
Okay.
Hi, Nico. Nominate something else.
I'm gonna say Borderlands 2.
Damn.
I deny you.
What's your rebuttal?
It's fun, and Nico has bad taste.
Unfortunately, dude, you're the one here who has bad taste. That game has ugly-ass aesthetics. It has the most horrific, terrible Reddit tier humor imaginable. It's just shitty internet culture from its era being repackaged by some fucking 60-year-olds who think this is what the kids want.
I mean, that's half the point. I don't know what you're going on about.
Nico just hates whimsy. He hates fun. He hates
Whimsy?
having a
There's
good
nothing
time.
fucking whimsical about it. All the humor is like, wow, check out this heckin' doggo. Here's a badass unicorn I named Sir Farts-a-Lot. Look at his mailbox. It has a mustache and top hat on it. Wow, we named all of our big, strong, legendary enemies badasses instead of something like elites. Like, fucking... Oh boy, I love this epic bacon. That's what all of the fucking Borderlands humor is, dude.
Man, I feel bad for you. I disagree with everything you just said.
All of that is true.
Nico, try not to be elitist. Challenge impossible.
Nico is 100% correct on everything he's saying here. But I think Borderlands 2 just makes it work, man. I don't find it cringe in this game. When I find the exact same thing cringe in so many other games and movies and shit.
It's also just genuinely a fun game. It has a fun gameplay loop. It's a novel experience. It's just a good time, even if you're looking past that.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think Borderlands 2's got the right things going for it, quite frankly. And it is regarded as the best Borderlands game and the most replayable Borderlands game. So I definitely disagree with you on that one, Nico.
Unfortunately, being the best Borderlands game doesn't mean a whole lot when all of them are shit, Dylan.
Kick rocks, I guess. You're the only one here who wants it off the list.
Yeah, so it sounds like a vote to eliminate it definitely fails. Would we vote to put it on the list right now? Because I would.
I mean, I could validate it. Like I said, I just botched it and forgot that this was in fact the 360 era.
Just
and I
say
would've
yes
put
or
that.
no for now, Dylan.
Yeah, I'd put it on the list.
Okay, Jackson, would you put it on the list right now?
Yeah, I would. I think it's a great game.
We're gonna put it on the list right now.
Like, just, oh my god.
You had all week to prepare yourself to be upset, Nico. I don't know what to tell you.
He knew this was going to happen, and he's still baffled by it.
We go into these lists knowing we're going to be upset, and, you know, that's not going to change anything now.
That's why my whole list is some bullshit.
Dylan, you propose a cut.
You know, out of all the games I've been looking at on this list, if I'm going to be quite real, I think Jackbox Party Pack's got to go.
This is not one I'm gonna just voluntarily cut. I think having a party game on the list would be a good idea. I know for a fact we have all had a blast playing this game as wee children. I think the biggest argument is, like, I am kind of using it as a catch-all for all the party packs, and this one is, like, very, very much stretching the definition of top 10 PS3 or Xbox 360.
The big thing, too, is, like, you know, it's the game on it, but, like, you're playing it on your phone. I really just see this as, like, a PC game. I would have to agree with Dylan. I don't know if I would want it on the list.
Yeah, unfortunately,
Okay.
Tanner, I do think that we should exclusively have disgusting gray shooters on our list. Just like some real brown-looking games, and this just doesn't match that at all.
Bye-bye, Jackbox. Okay, I'm gonna... Ooh, who do I want to go after next? Who do I want to target as if some kind of a hate crime? How many do we have, Let's see, we have 6 slots left. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Jesus, we've
So we
eliminated
gotta
so
cut-
many.
We gotta cut 4 more.
And there are so many that need to be cut, too.
Oh yeah.
Like Asuro's Wrath and Rayman Legends.
I'll fight for Rayman Legends.
Literally only one of Nico's games has made it onto the list thus far.
I'm trying not to pick on Nico again. The thing is, I just actually, yeah, I mean, I agree Need for Speed Most Wanted is a very fun game. I just don't see how it's gonna wind up on the end of the list.
It's
What
peak.
say you, Jackson? Oh, it's peak. Never mind then.
It's got great
Damn.
gameplay. It's got an interesting story. It's got a ton of replayability. It is representing a genre that is completely missing out on this list. That is the only.
Is there any shooting,
game.
though, Jackson?
I think the cops might fire at you. I don't know if they do anything.
Cut it. Get it out of here.
I just think Need for Speed Most Wanted is a great time. I think it's a great pedestal game for its genre, and I think it'd be remiss to not include it on the total list.
Gotcha. Dylan, where do you stand on cutting it or not?
I do think it needs some I think racing games need some representation, and if Jackson is claiming that it is one of the best racing games of its era and nobody's arguing against it, I don't see why we'd eliminate it.
It's not even of its era, it's just like of all time. Racing games have really fucking fallen off in recent memory, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Fell off. Okay, sounds like we don't have the votes to cut that one.
Yeah,
Jackson,
I'm not willing to
wanna...
kick it off here yet. I think there are plenty of other games that can be axed before that. Like, I definitely don't want some other garbage to end up on here just because, like, well, I mean, we've eliminated so many other games. We got the votes at this point. Like, we can eliminate other shit before Need for Speed.
Yeah. No, listen, this is the process. We're looking for like 3-1 votes right now.
How are we feeling about Castle Crashers and or Halo Reach? I figured if Halo Reach was going to make it on the list, it would have by now, so I think we need to discuss that.
Never played it, no opinion.
It does have shooting in it. I appreciate that at the very least.
Man is just seething right now.
He's so upset, dude.
I can tell.
I'm cracking some jokes, you know? I'm cracking a little jokes here and there. I'm busting my own balls. That's all there is to it.
Anyway, so Jackson's never played Halo Reach. I think Halo Reach is by far one of the, like, staples of the Xbox 360 franchise. Not only because it's a Halo game, but I think it's because it was one of the most widely received Halo games of, any Halo game ever, besides maybe 2.
What do you mean by widely received? Like the critical acclaim?
Well, I more so mean, like, if anybody played Halo or could remember a Halo game, it was Halo Reach.
I don't think that's true.
I also don't agree with that. I like it, Dylan. Again, I think it's the best Halo game. I don't think it should be on here, though.
Alright, well, that's why I'm trying to... Because I figured if it was going to be on the list, we would have put it on by now, so I was thinking either it goes on now or we take it out.
Croissant.
I do not currently agree with eliminating that one.
Okay. What about Castle Crashers?
Fuck it. We're done with nominations. We're just gonna go down the line in a row, see if we have any 3 votes to eliminate. Telltale's The Walking Dead. Obviously, I fucking love this game.
Well, hang on
Tells a
here,
great
Tanner. Hang on a
story.
second. If we're gonna go in a row, we should just maybe start with the person who still has the most things remaining.
Sure. Castle Crasher. We'll make this quick. I don't want this one eliminated right now.
I think it's a fun
Sure,
game.
we can leave it at the moment.
Okay.
We'll leave it for the moment. Halo Reach, we just did. Gears of War 3. Do we have 3 votes to eliminate this one?
Never played it, no opinion.
It's
I'll vote with the majority.
the game. I'm not even going to get into it. I'll just wait for you guys to vote, I guess.
I think if you have a piece to say about it, you can go ahead and say it.
It's obviously this franchise continued on, but you could tell like they were really putting the pieces together to wrap up the story. They were closing down other storylines. They were wrapping up people's character arcs. I think the way that the story is constructed was very well put together. I think each character was thought out, and the roles that each person had to play in the plot was, very intentional. I feel like the gameplay mechanics overall, culminating up until that point, because Gears of War was a little bit different as compared to most other shooting games. And even though it's not like your agile Call of Duty, I still think the gameplay and movement flowed very well. And this was one of the first action games, mainly because my favorite character died. But the emotional scenes in this really, really worked. And the tension was there, and the emotions ran high, the intensity was there. I just think overall, if this was to be the end of the Gears of War franchise, I think this game pulled it off spectacularly, quite frankly.
I don't want to eliminate it right now. If we don't get enough eliminations, though, that's the first one I'll be visiting.
I do think it's a pretty solid game. I played it with you, Dylan. We beat
Hell
the
yeah.
entire game together in one sitting, I think. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of feel like it should probably be cut.
It's okay. I do think that my feelings towards Gears of War is very high compared to a lot of people's. It is truly one of my favorite gaming franchises, so that's also helping it right now.
I don't think we have the votes
Yeah, it
currently,
doesn't
but
sound like it.
I think it'll be the first one to get cut once we don't eliminate anything.
Gotcha.
Destiny.
I mean, a lot more people thought this was better than Destiny 2, and I mean, I don't know. It's so hard. This game set up so much world and just story building and character that wasn't even answered until the second game, unfortunately. But I think the amount of community involvement and the activities that weren't necessarily unique But just the idea of like space magic, and you're going out with your friends, and you've got all these you've got player versus player activities, you got player versus enemy activities. And I just think the ideas and the gunplay that this game explored while it was around and popular, I think they did a lot of things right. And I don't think it was, poorly received as much as Destiny 2 was. I definitely think if people were to choose between the two, they definitely go with Destiny over Destiny 2. And I even gave this game a year or two, because I think by the time the third expansion came out, I finally bought it and caught up with everything and was just there, and I always had a great time. The first time I had exposure to this game was Nico got access to the beta or something, and that was over for me there. But I don't know, the story's very interesting, the world building, the lore behind everything. I fucking love the lore. I think it adds a lot. There's a lot of behind the scenes story going on. And it just helps when you know that kind of stuff. It helps you appreciate the game a lot more for what it is, albeit, by behind the scenes information.
Okay, Nico, as the other person who played a decent amount of this game, I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
Okay, so we've clowned a lot on Destiny on this channel. I do think Halo Reach is the better game, but...
Interesting.
I think that Destiny does kind of deserve to make it on here more than Halo Reach would. Fucking the raids for Destiny are great. Those are phenomenal. Not a huge fan of all the strikes, that constant content you have to be fucking doing all the time. The strikes with the bosses who all have a stupid ass fucking slam where it's oh man, if you want to do some cool melee shit up close stuff with shotguns or something, oh I'm sorry, but that's not viable against fuck you. But I do think the Crucible was fun. I do think just the general gameplay for Destiny is better than something like Halo Reach. There's a lot more movement. There's a much more variety between the weapons that you've got available to you.
Just the art direction too. Destiny for the time is a great looking game. It's got a banging soundtrack. It's got really good environmental design.
Yeah, you go to places like Venus and they're just beautiful.
Oh yeah.
I would agree. I had a really good time with Destiny. Legitimately, Destiny 2 is the thing that made me fall off of the franchise, and I would definitely agree. I have no opinion about Halo Reach because I have never played a fucking Halo game. Actually, that's a lie. I played the fucking Master Chief Collection or something, but I think I maybe got a quarter of the way into one of the games. I don't even know what game that was. So yeah, I definitely would put Destiny on it over Halo Reach.
Okay, sounds like that one is not getting cut either.
Dylan keeps winning.
We recently discussed Need for Speed, so Far Cry?
Yeah.
Far Cry 3, this game, the big thing that people talk about this game, of course, is the main villain guy. Whatever the fuck his name is, I already forgot. He's the guy that's what the definition of crazy is, that guy.
That's not even the line.
Whatever, you know what I'm talking about. He's talking about it's the definition of insanity.
Yeah.
Whatever, I got one word wrong, Mr. Pedantic. Anyways, it's just got a fun environment to go and run around. The island is a beautiful place to be. There's a lot to do in it. If you like collectathons, it is one of those types of games. There's all sorts of shit to do. You can sink crazy amount of time into it. I think the gunplay is really good. Decent amount of variety in what you can do. It's got some fun movement mechanics. I think hucking around the fucking cars is fun with the varied terrain. Just a fun place to get around with, especially with the dynamic open world stuff with the enemy faction bases you have to take out and take control over the island with. I think it's an interesting system. The gameplay actually has some decent depth to it as well. You can crank up the difficulty a decent amount and actually get some challenge on it, which I appreciated. I just recently, in the last couple of years, played through the entire game again on the hardest difficulty, and it was a fun time. Definitely got to think tactically about some things. All sorts of different playstyles are viable. It's got an intriguing story. It's got some fun cutscenes. I just think it's a really solid game. Unfortunately, the formula for Far Cry 3 ruined the rest of the franchise because it made the games much more gamey. This game was much more gamey than Far Cry 2, which is much more of a grounded experience. And they just never went back from that.
Why are you saying it's a bad thing?
I mean, because I think they're just straying from the formula, and then now all of the games are just insanely dumbed down and basically just Far Cry 3 with more features is the complaint. And I think that's a bad thing.
Okay, I see what you're saying now. I thought you were saying they made Far Cry 3 more fun than the second one, which I don't like.
No, I mean, they added all sorts of things to make the game less serious, basically, and they kind of tried to walk back some of that, but yeah, the games have never really recovered from Far Cry 3, but I still think it's a great game. It also had fucking multiplayer, like a Call of Duty-esque multiplayer, which I thought was funny, and I genuinely actually did play that, and it was fun. I don't think it compares to something like COD, but there's a lot to do in that game. It's a good time.
Unfortunately, it's an open-world Ubisoft game, so yeah, I don't like it very much.
Yeah, I think Far Cry 3 is really, really good. This one is one I would cut as well, though.
Insanity.
I've played a decent amount of Far Cry 3. I never beat it. I quite frankly got frustrated with it, but that's just because of my gameplay style. So nothing against the game. I'm sure it's just the way I was playing it. I can see the value in it. I wish I could see the value you're portraying, because I do agree. I think the island's nice. I like how you do need to be strategic. You know, there's different, like, random events that happen across the island. I am not afraid of open world games. I played the shit out of Skyrim. I do think Far Cry is a nice addition to this. I think it's a break away from what we have currently. I can't say I would eliminate it though yet.
Guys, consider you can get a wingsuit, and that shit's fucking gas.
Is the wingsuit in number 3? I thought that was later.
Yeah, I can get a wingsuit in 3. It's the one that originated
Just
it.
Cause 2.
Yeah, I was about to say, no, you're thinking of Just Cause.
Yeah, no, the wingsuit's fucking awesome, man. I legitimately would boot up the game just so I could get in that wingsuit and just fly around the fucking island. I thought it was so much fun back in the day.
Well, moving on then. Rayman Legends. I want this one to be here.
It is a very fun game.
It sounds like we don't have the votes.
I do like having platformer representation. I've never played it myself, though.
Okay. Asura's Wrath.
Asura's Wrath, dude. Come on.
Whatever.
The God of War for the Xbox franchise.
That's the one, dude.
I'm gonna be honest, Nico. I think this is probably an Infinity Train scenario. I'm sure if I ever played it, I would absolutely love it.
Dude, just look at this shit right here. Check it out.
He's breaking out the fucking pictures. Here we go.
Everyone view this. It'll help educate you on the game a little bit.
Oh no, it's a video, dude. Oh, my sound's down. It's fine. Oh, is this the one where he stops the fucking finger?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I remember they included this. This shit was pretty gas.
Exactly. That's the thing about Asura's Wrath, Dylan. It's nothing but gas. Much like the Uncharted games or The Last of Us, the strengths of Asura's Wrath are not within the gameplay itself. For lack of a better word, this game is Kino incarnate, alright? It is the most unbelievably hype shit that you will ever see in gaming, and it's just not even close. The story is fantastic. Asura is just a phenomenal character. He isn't just some roided up screaming mongoloid who punches really hard. He does grow throughout the story and possesses endless love for those around him, so much so then the big climactic fight against the big bad Chakravartin, he isn't just screaming about how much he hates gods or some shit, okay? His final words, Chakravartin, are, "I will never forgive you for making my daughter cry," and then he just fucking punches him out of existence. It's fucking sweet as hell. It's really a great story that is enough to even bring a tear to my eye, okay? It is genuinely touching, and it just makes you feel for Asura and his struggles. It's great, guys.
But, like, consider he lost in a death battle to Kratos.
You know, he'd probably lose against Superman too, does that... Like, is fucking Rayman or Need for Speed guy losing against Superman, does that diminish their value whatsoever?
I'm just being funny, man. I didn't mean anything. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like that video you guys saw, the thing that makes Asura's Wrath stand out the most are the cinematics, and a big reason for that is just the camera work, which I know sounds dumb, but just the way in which they frame the shots and accentuate every moment to make them feel more impactful is unlike any game to date.
I was gonna say, people hype up this game for its cinematic experience, if nothing else.
Absolutely, dude. And just the crazy shit that happens throughout it. Like, at one point, fucking Asura flies through the air by just punching the ground so hard that he launches himself. He gets skewered by a katana that goes straight through the moon as well. He gets his arms blown off, but keeps fighting regardless. Just fucking headbutting people to death. And, like,
Nico, I'm currently raising my hand right now.
What's going on, dude?
What's the fucking gameplay?
The gameplay is a lot like things like Bayonetta, God of War, like Dylan said, Devil May Cry. It is like an action beat 'em up sort of thing.
Okay, is the gameplay Generally good. You've only talked about the story and cinematic so far.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said right off the top, much like Uncharted or The Last of Us, the strengths are in the cinematics, okay? The thing is, kind of like the Nier games as well, the action game elements are serviceable. They aren't like anything super groundbreaking. They aren't going to be anywhere near as depthful as something like fucking Devil May Cry or Bayonetta. The main purpose of the gameplay is going to be to just kind of have a way to transfer you from cutscene to cutscene.
Dude, you would love Final Fantasy XIV online.
Dude, right?
No way.
You just gotta get through the first 20 hours of slog.
I am regretfully going to vote to eliminate this one with the asterisks. I wish I had played this.
It's fucking peak.
I can't agree with you, Tanner. I'm sorry.
I've got no opinion on it right now.
We're going to continue to not
this
eliminate
is just
anything.
going nowhere. We have to do like
And
a game versus...
I voted every time.
Dude, I
Let's
feel
see
like
if
this
you
is gonna...
vote for your own games, Tanner.
Telltale's The Walking Dead. I think
the show
this
did a
game is
better
very
eliminate.
good, and I like it a lot. It made me cry.
Isn't this just a choice-based gaming experience? I don't think there's any...
It's kind of like the next evolution of the point and click.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember these games are constantly on Xbox Game Pass. They're constantly free to play.
Oh yeah, that's how I played them.
I think, much like Asura's Wrath in this regard, I think the appeal with The Walking Dead is that you are engrossed in the story. But, at the same time, that's all you're there for. Is you're making choices on how the dialogue goes. There's not really anything at stake. If there's no action scenes, then the plot is set to do its course and then deviate slightly based on your choices.
I mean, I don't think that's true. Like there are choices you make that, do or do not result in people getting killed and shit.
But are there any stakes against your character personally?
No, not really, but that's true of any game.
No, I think there are plenty of games where you can make the wrong choice and die to it.
Yeah, and then you respawn.
What'd you say, Jackson?
Bro's never played Far Cry 3 and it shows.
I have played Far Cry 3, unless you're talking to Tanner.
I'm talking to Tanner.
He's talking to me.
Anyway.
I legitimately don't get that criticism. Like in what case is the player character not cause what?
I don't know, I just feel like there need to be stakes in a game, for the most part. I feel like there needs to be an object of failure in games, but that's just me.
Sure. I want it to stay.
I'd be okay with cutting it.
I'm still for cutting it as well, unfortunately.
That's tragic.
It tells a great story, but...
Yeah.
I mean, now, with The Last of Us, I think we need, strong narrative game representation.
Dude, we already have Asura's Wrath.
It was the best reviewed game of the entire PS3, Xbox 360 generation.
Wait, hang on, Tanner. You agree with the reviewers? You like games journalists?
It's got a TV show. I don't know. It's the fucking Last of Us. What do I need to say? I love this shit.
I've seen one sitting of this game, and I'm not gonna vote to cut it, if that makes you feel any better.
Whoa.
I can see the value in this game.
I also would not agree with cutting this.
Yeah, same.
Radical. Okay, here's what I was thinking we can do instead of trying to go back through. Each of us state what 3 remaining we would cut and see how much overlap there is there.
Which 3 we would cut?
Yeah, because we need to cut 3 more.
Oh, you mean in the general? I thought you meant from each of our lists. I was like, dude, I'm the only one with more than 3.
Yeah, no.
Alright, I guess, let's just go in the normal order. Tanner?
Okay, I would cut Asura's Wrath. Gears of War 3, and Destiny.
You're close to me. I would cut Asura's Wrath, Gears of War 3, and Halo Reach.
Okay.
I would cut Far Cry 3, Halo Reach, and Gears 3.
I think I'm gonna go with... this is difficult.
Yeah, half of yours are yours.
Need for Speed. I'm gonna say Gears of War 3 and Castle Crashers, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, so
Interesting.
that kind of helped.
It's
Two
Two
because
more games, though. Just two more
here's
games,
the problem
right?
here. Here's how I'm looking at this list right now. I don't know if both Rayman Legends and Castle Crashers should be represented on this list. I feel
Why
like
not?
it needs to be one or the other. I don't know. It just feels like
What the fuck is even the gameplay of Castle Crashers? What type of game is it?
It's a side-scrolling beat 'em up.
Yeah.
it's very fun. You can play it with your friends. You fight against a bunch of monsters
You should
and
play
bosses.
with your friends.
Yeah.
And then once you get to the big boss at the very end of each area, you fight each other to save the princess, so then it turns into a player versus player mode. The thing that sucks ass, though, is that if you have that one pussy-ass teammate who runs away knowing that mechanic, he lets the other people fight the boss and then kills them while they're at a sliver of HP. It's bullshit. But a very fun time regardless.
And I think it should stay.
That's fair.
Me
I
too.
also really enjoy Rayman. This is why it's tough, because like Rayman Legends is also very fun. I distinctly.
Why do you feel like both of them should be cut, though? Because they're very different games.
Not both of them. I said one or the other. I'm not.
Well,
I'm
yeah,
saying,
one or the other. Like, they're very
I don't-
different.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of like game versus game here, and unfortunately, it's backfiring on me. I have no argument as to say why it has to be one or the other. I was just throwing something out there to see if people agree.
Like, for me, currently, Far Cry and Halo Reach are the ones that stand out the most as needing to be cut.
Halo is the one for me because Destiny and Halo, I mean, obviously they're very different games, but they
Yeah.
fulfill very similar genres of they're the fucking space shooter game. So
Yeah.
I feel like that's the easy route to take is just to knock off one of them.
Exactly.
Let me
yeah.
reiterate really quickly that the thing I stated previously, if Halo Reach hasn't made it onto the list yet, I don't think it should make it onto the list, because I thought that Halo Reach was a very popular game for the 360 and PlayStation, or I guess it wasn't for PlayStation, but
I was about to say.
yeah, I think quite frankly, if we've gone this long without deciding whether or not Halo Reach should go on the list, I don't know if it should go, based on what
I'm in favor of
talked about
cutting
thus
Halo
far.
Reach. Sounds like Dylan is too. What about you guys?
I already said yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
get that
well,
out of
we've
here.
got 3 for Halo Reach. There we go. We've done it, boys.
No, we need one more. Yeah.
It was an all or nothing.
There's no way. I thought that was the last one.
Nope.
Well, Tanner and I both said Asura's Wrath for
True.
ours.
I'll bite the bullet. Get Destiny out of here. Fuck it.
Hold on a second. That's a completely different fucking game than the one I just mentioned.
It's fine. I'm not going to be able to argue Destiny. I don't have enough fighting room here. I feel like I would be alone in this fight.
We're gonna do the reverse. Actually, does this? I don't think this mathematically makes sense. Well, let's just see if we come to any conclusions here. Which ones, regardless of how many, are you like, yes, that one absolutely should be on the list? For me, it's Last of Us, Rayman Legends, and Castle Crashers are the ones where I'm like, yes, I want those out of this crop to be on the list.
For me, it's definitely Need for Speed, Far Cry, Destiny, and The Last of Us.
Okay.
For me, it's Rayman Legends, Asura's Wrath, and Need for Speed.
I'm going to say Castle Crashers, Destiny, and Rayman Legends.
Okay, so that didn't do anything.
Per
It's
usual.
shocking.
Okay, so can we go over Far Cry again real quick? Like, why is it still here?
Because it's fucking awesome. It's a great game. It's got an entertaining story. It's got fun gameplay. It's got a lot of replayability with its various game modes. There's a lot of different things you
The
can
problem
do in
is, though,
it.
Jackson, this game is a fucking dime a dozen nowadays. There are so many exactly like it.
Because it's the progenitor of all of them. Why is that a criticism of the game?
Dude, we've looked at so many games already where it's like, I mean, this game just isn't as good as the other games that are just like it, much like the Halos.
Because I'm voting pretty hard here on the legacy that this game created. I think it states a lot of value for the game if this is the one that made a lot of games
Unfortunately, also
copy
its
it.
legacy is pretty shit. None of those games are very good.
Still, this game is good though, and if they fail to copy it, that's not a fucking knock
Like,
to this
game literally started the whole shit that everyone complains about from Ubisoft. Their terrible fucking mapping, all of that shit started here with Far Cry.
And again, this game is still good. If they failed to replicate it properly, that's not this game's fault. And I did mention that this was, unfortunately, the game that led to the downfall of a lot of games similar to it. That's not this game's fault, though. It being a really good game and needing to be replicated is not its problem.
Unfortunately, I just disagree on the point that it is a good game to begin with.
Alas, I would
Like,
disagree
even the
on
fucking... Like, the biggest thing about this game is, like, you know, the villain, that's the part that everyone remembers. He's barely in the game, though. He's here for, like, 20 minutes of screen time, and that's it.
And he's still so insanely memorable. Is that not even more benefit to him? If he can have so little screen time and yet still have such an impact on culture
I
and
think the
people that
only
play the
impact
game?
is that introduction speech he gives, because everyone started the game like, oh man, this guy's pretty cool.
You just haven't played the game if you're saying that. Then he's got some crazy fucking cutscenes. Like the one where you kill the dude is fucking awesome, man. There is some crazy cool cinematics.
He puts your gun to his head and he's like, "Fucking kill me!"
Yeah, that's the last 1% of the cutscene. But yes, that does in fact happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, but after you have a fucking knife fight in a like psychedelic fucking rave setting where it's crazy. The game has some fucking cool cinematics and like interesting cutscenes too. Like you fight a fucking god while you're on fucking hallucinogenics. It's a very creative game too for what it is. I don't really talk about that. It's got a lot of depth in just the way it presents its story.
You can also slit your girlfriend's throat and then use it as lube to have sex with like a priestess chick.
Yeah, you can straight up get the bad ending where you fuck the fucking priest chick and you inseminate her so that she can make your baby and that'll be the new leader of their tribe. And then you fucking die and she kills you. And then you fucking lose the game. You have to restart.
Dude, that
shit's fucking awesome.
The only other mathematical solution I would propose is like we each rank the 3 we would want to eliminate in order and see which one gets the
what if we just ranked all of the ones that are remaining?
I was also thinking that. I didn't know if it would take too long though, but yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, I think putting it down on a list would probably be the optimal choice.
Also, just one more nail at Far Cry 3. We have fucking GTA 5 on here already.
They're incredibly different games.
That's a terrible
not even
argument.
comparable.
I disagree.
You're fucking manic for that. I think that just ruined all of your credibility for your defense against Far Cry 3 being taken out.
I think you comparing Far Cry to GTA is probably the wildest thing I've ever heard you say in comparing
games. It's wild to compare two open world games to each other.
That's all they have in common.
That is all the thing they have in common. What else is similar?
They have shooting.
There you
go.
Yeah,
let's look at like all like the 80% of this list.
I wish I had a loose piece of paper. Oh, wait, okay, I got my notepad thing up. I can write down. So, if I were to rank these from what I most want to make it on the list down to the least, I would go Last of Us. I would go...
Oh, that's how we're doing this. Oh, shit.
I think I'd go Rayman Legends, then Castle Crashers, then Far Cry 3, then Destiny, I guess, then Ashura's Wrath. No, Ashura's Wrath, then Destiny, and then Need for Speed.
Manic.
Nico, how would you rank these 6? Go from most wanted on the list to least.
Dude, I'm currently thinking it over. I'm pondering right now. Currently I'm thinking Rayman, Ashura's Wrath, Need for Speed, Last of Us, then Castle Crashers, then Destiny.
Is Far Cry at the very bottom for you?
Yeah. I feel like I've made that obvious.
I just wanted to make sure.
That's my list, so it's easily accessible. I definitely want Most Wanted to be on the list most of all. Last of Us, I think, is the second one to deserve it. I think it has had a crazy cultural impact for what it is. It's a very highly regarded game. Definitely deserves to be on the list. Far Cry 3 I've talked about a lot, obviously. Destiny I also think is really solid. And I don't really have much of an opinion of the other 3, so I just kind of just put them in the order
But of course you put Ashura's Wrath last, you piece of shit.
Well, yeah, because it's gonna lower the likelihood of Far Cry 3 being cut, obviously.
Oh, you have this somewhere?
Yeah, I posted it in general.
Oh, okay.
For the audience, Rayman Legends, Castle Crashers, Ashura's Wrath. But it's a fucking grab bag toss up. Like all of them are the exact same spot for me.
Fair enough. All right, Dylan, how would you rank these 7?
Let's see. I'd probably go Destiny first, then Rayman Legends, Castle Crashers, Last of Us, Ashura's Wrath, Far Cry, and then Need for Speed.
Okay, let me analyze this. Here, I'm going to say the points out loud. Someone else write this down,
Okay.
please.
I'll write it down.
So, we're going to do golf rules, where its lowest score means good.
Fantastic.
So Last of Us is going to have... Last of Us is going to be just barely under 3. It's 11 divided by 4. Rayman Legends is whatever 10 divided by 4 is, so like a little over
2.5.
2. Yeah, sure. Actually, yeah, you're right. Castle Crashers is 17 divided by 4.
4.2.
So a little over 4.
4.25.
Yeah, 4.25. Thank you. Far Cry is going to be 19 divided by 4, so
It'd be
4.75. Yeah. Ashura's Wrath is going to be also 19 divided by 4, so 4.75. Destiny is going to be 17 divided by 4, so
That's 4.25 again, yeah.
And finally, we got Need for Speed, which is going to be 18 divided by 4. So Need for Speed is definitively the one that got the highest score.
You mean 2 of them got 19 divided by 4, buddy?
Oh, yeah.
We had 2 of
You're
them
right.
that got 4.75, I believe.
Yeah, so highest ranked was Rayman, the lowest ranked was Asura's and Far Cry that tied for 4.75.
Which ones were that again? Okay, Far Cry and Ashura's Wrath tied at 4.75. So,
I put them in order.
between Far Cry and Ashura's, we'll do positive. Which one do each of us want on the list?
I think Jax and I are obvious.
Yeah, this is up to you
Right.
guys here.
What do you think, Dylan?
As far as out of all these, I guess Rayman would make the most sense.
That's not the question. Is
I missed
between
the
Far
question.
Cry 3 and Ashura's Wrath, which one do you want on the list?
This is...
They're very different games, so it is hard to choose between the
Yeah.
two.
Impossibly different.
I've actually played Far Cry is the problem here. I know that
Right.
Asura's Wrath is pretty good by a lot of standards, but damn, this is truly unfortunate. I'm gonna go with Far Cry.
I'm also going with Far Cry.
Damn.
Alas,
I think it
this
truly
is simply
is.
me, I suppose.
I think it truly is just an Infinity Train
I was gonna say
situation,
Infinity
Nico.
Train Part 2.
Maybe you just need to play more popular games.
What, and be a normie like you guys? I don't think so.
I don't know if saying Asura's
yeah.
Wrath is not popular is true or not, but
It's a bit more niche.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
niche is probably the word for it.
They mean the same thing.
I suppose so.
Okay, so let's now on to the other part. I guess right off the bat, what do people have a strong feeling for which one should be number 1?
Yeah, Dark Souls.
I don't think I agree with that.
I do not have a strong opinion on any of them.
Dude, honestly, well, considering we had, like, the 3 original, I guess Dark Souls would be included in that, but honestly,
Yeah.
it's either Black Ops 2 or GTA 5 for me. If I was to eliminate it down to any more than that, I definitely played a shit ton of Black Ops 2 on Xbox 360, so I guess that would have to be my number 1 choice.
I think I'd be lying if I said Black Ops 2 probably wouldn't be my number 1. I don't think it deserves to be number 1. It is a Call of Duty game at the end of the day, but I played it so fucking much.
Yeah.
It's absurd.
Personally, I would be in between Black Ops 2 or Dark Souls being number 1, so it kind of seems like Black Ops 2 is number 1.
Based Call of Duty game taking the top 10.
Maybe
Who
we
knew
are
that?
real gamers.
We are so basic.
Dude.
I think Dark Souls should be number 2.
I wouldn't be opposed to that given the everything it made.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Although Nico hates the legacy argument, so maybe we shouldn't take that into account.
I only hate it when everything that legacy has created, as well as the original thing, is bad.
Anyway, I think GTA 5 is number 3. That's just me, though.
I think I agree with you there.
Yeah,
Probably.
That's reasonable. I would assume Last of Us. Last of Us, I assume, or Rayman is what you guys would probably assume for number 4.
Last of Us, I think, would be 4, personally.
I agree with that.
Rayman's good, but, like, I think Last of Us has a more lasting impression.
I mean, I'd prefer it to be Rayman, but we can go Last of Us.
It sounds like Rayman's number 5 then.
Fair enough, dude. I am okay with that.
Personally, I want to get Need for Speed below The Last of Us, personally.
I want to get it above The Last of Us.
I mean, I'm fine with Need for Speed being next, quite frankly.
I don't know, I'm kind of thinking Destiny deserves it.
Yeah?
I think Need for Speed is just such a critically acclaimed cultural piece that I definitely think it deserves to be higher.
And Destiny isn't?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think Destiny...
Comparatively, I mean, it's the grandfather of the genre. I mean, it's not the grandfather of the genre, but you know what I mean.
I'm sorry, dude, but can you play as any Need for Speed characters in Brawlhalla?
That's...
Whatever that game is.
Oh, no.
I think personally I'd go Borderlands 2 for number 6 here.
I can't
Sounds like
agree
we're
with
split.
that.
Let's make it Castle Crashers.
No.
Is there anyone we would all make number 10?
I think just given the average votes, Far Cry 3 would probably be down there. But personally, I would say Castle Crashers.
I strongly
Given I
disagree
know
with that.
literally nothing about that game.
Guys, we need to have a Castle Crashers run. I think that'd be good for all of us.
It recently got a big update, fucking 10 years after it came out.
Yeah, it's got an Xbox Series X and X enhanced version, so...
I think I agree that since Far Cry 3 is the one that like most squeaked onto the list, it probably is number 10.
Fair, I guess.
Yeah, I'd say so.
This is bullshit.
Just because of, like, personal... I do think Destiny would go higher. I'm not opposed to it going after Rayman Legends, and since it was suggested, I'm totally fine with that. Obviously.
It's the only big MMO on the system.
That is true.
That is true.
Dude, fun fact. Never mind.
I can agree with Destiny being number 6.
Radical.
Personally, I disagree, but I think I'm outnumbered here.
I think you are.
Luckily, Jackson, I think after that would have to be Need for Speed. Like, it's gotta be.
I want it as high as possible here. It's definitely my top pick for this.
Makes sense, dude.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah. You got Borderlands 2 on this list, and if you want Need for Speed above that, I can't argue with you.
I mean, frankly, I can't really complain about any of this. I got half of my fucking picks on this list, so
Yeah,
I'm
you
chilling.
piece of shit. You fucking normie.
I mean, by all rights,
I will
how many
give
do
you
I
this.
have
Hang
here?
on,
1, 2.
Tanner. What are you doing?
Oh, are we not? Okay, I wasn't sure.
Dude, Castle Crashers above Borderlands. Come on.
I would definitely put Borderlands above Castle Crashers.
I would
kind
too.
of honestly would put Borderlands over Castle Crashers.
Okay.
And there we go. I mean, you can play Borderlands 2 multiplayer as well. Like, what's the point of Castle Crashers then?
Because Castle Crashers is silly and fun and very, simple.
Yeah, I was about to see how many I wounded up with on
I got
the list.
2.
I got 2 as well.
By indirect association, I got 6.
Isn't that what happened last time?
Yeah.
Like, Dylan had by far the most, and then me and Nico had the least.
I can't claim Far Cry because I didn't like the game enough to have it on my list. I only claim GTA 5 because I actually play the most out of all you fuckers.
Okay, hold on. You can't claim ones that weren't on your list, buddy.
Okay, fine, I got 5 on the list. Who cares?
There
The
you
difference
go.
between 5 and 6 doesn't matter. It's nothing. Regardless, I got half the list.
Tanner, we're just the most cultured, I guess. We just...
Oh, wait, I didn't have Borderlands 2 either. Never mind.
We're so much more knowledgeable. We play so many more games.
I just didn't play that many games. The PS3 era for me was I'd have to, like, get one game to pick to play for a month from fucking Blockbuster.
Yeah,
and that was the
fair.
only game I played that month, and from a rental. I barely played any games this era.
That's where I first saw Sonic 06, was at a Blockbuster. But alas, I did not own a PS3 or Xbox 360, so instead I rented Ape Escape 3, which, well, you all know how history ended there.
Hell yeah, brother.
Alright, Nico, give us an outro.
Dude, this was the big gay top 10 for PS3 and Xbox 360 games. I hope you enjoyed it. I sure didn't, but that's just how the cookie crumbles, I suppose.
Just real quick, for the listeners that don't have the visual, do you want to read through the the 10.
That's a good idea. Number 1, Black Ops 2. Number 2, Dark Souls. Number 3, GTA 5. Number 4, The Last of Us. Number 5, Rayman Legends. 6, Destiny. 7, Need for Speed. Most Wanted. Number 8, Borderlands 2. Number 9, Castle Crashers. And number 10, Far Cry 3.
It's definitely an eclectic list.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This is kind of schizophrenic.
Yes, very much so. And I played half of it, so what does it say about me?
I'm shocked you didn't go for the argument of Borderlands and Far Cry 3 are very similar games, so why don't we have only one of those?
I don't think they're similar enough. Borderlands
But
is a
yet you
looter
think
shooter,
GTA
dude.
is similar to Far Cry 3.
Borderlands is a
Man.
looter shooter. It's not. The gameplay loop is entirely different from Far Cry.
I mean, your comparison to it in fucking GTA 5 is still the funniest shit ever to me.
I feel like they're much more similar than fucking Borderlands 2 is, and I think most people would agree with that.
I'd be hard pressed to find that argument, but whatever.
Anywho, thank you all for watching this segment.
Oh yeah. And if you too would like to tell us what games you want to put in your top 10, then please do so down in the comments. And also, I don't know, do something else down there, I guess. Something else we're gonna do, though, is we'll talk about Guapish at the movies!
Guapish at the movies?
I don't know.
Sure you do.
No.
It's all good. No worries.
Jackson, we've been at each other's throats a little bit this episode, but, like, you know, I'm hoping that you could maybe at least tell me, dude, what did we watch this week?
The Patreon pick this week, as requested by Netigant on Patreon, thank you for the request, was the 2011 film Rise of the Planet of the Apes. And if you also want to get your pick watched by us, you can go to patreon.com/guapish or guapish.com/patreon. $1 each month gets a request in the queue that we will watch. And of course, you could be like Lucky and Netta here. And this is a movie about the origin of the, you know, classic film, The Planet of the Apes, where we see the life of monkey chimp Caesar, who is very smart because they're trying to cure Alzheimer's, and he gets that drug as like a testing subject. And he fucking experiences despair and he revolts against humanity.
Dude, fun fact. Andy Serkis improvised the moment where Caesar gets in the back seat of the car instead of the trunk.
Oh, did he play Caesar?
Andy Serkis, yeah.
Nice. That's pretty fun.
Use a tracking suit? That's crazy.
No, he's just a freak.
Yeah, he
Holy
just
shit.
looks like that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Jackson, where are you putting this one?
Currently I'm at a B+.
Okay. I'm close to you. I'm at a B.
I am at an A-.
Yeah, I'll second that motion. I gave it an A-.
All right, so it's looking like half of us put it over the original Planet of the Apes.
I mean, yeah, I think that an origin story does a lot for the franchise. I would hope so anyway, in regards to the fact that it is what kind of alludes to what happened, considering we're going back in time. But I don't know, I'm just a sucker for origin stories. I don't think it really gets any more complicated than that. I don't think the CGI was terrible. I could stand to be corrected because I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about when it comes to CGI.
No, I think it's perfectly serviceable for the time.
I think that the plot and the acting was good, and I like the way that things went along. I don't think anything was really forced. And I kind of like the whole, like, at the end where the apes weren't trying to be violent because they're understanding the concept of violence breeds more violence, and we're not going to kill them because we're not going to stoop down to their level, which wasn't something verbally said, but it was implied.
Except for when they did kill them.
I know, it was so funny when they were like, no, don't kill anybody, but then you've got, like, the one police officer who got thrown over the bridge and, like, all that kinds of shit. They were very selective with the people they were killing, I guess I could say. But, yeah, this movie is wholesome at some points. It's, you know, it tugs at your heartstrings. It's got, you know, motivation in it. You can see the motivations for each of the characters, and, you know, just the underlying, like, emotions and, like, things that the characters themselves don't see happening, but us as the audience can see very clearly, and we're hoping it resolves in the best way possible. But, you know, we know in movies like this that hardly ever happens.
I guess I'll give my thoughts on the movie. So my big positives are Caesar, the performance. What the fuck? Holy shit. So good. Ape Chaos, very fun. I liked it. The CGI, I think it's still good, to be honest. We've seen worse from newer films.
I think it generally looks good. There are a few shots here and there, though, that aren't very good. Especially, unfortunately, like the final shot when he's climbing up the tree and he's just like looking at San Francisco. For some reason, the trees there just look terrible.
I kind of agree with you there. My biggest negative are the quote references to the first movie. I think they're very awkward and not done well.
I was gonna say, those, like, some of that shit was fine. Like when they make little mentions where it's like, oh, that leads into, like, the next film. Like, they talk about how, like, the astronauts just launched or whatever the fuck. It's like, yeah, sure, that's nice. But then it's like, they give the fucking, get your hands off me, you dirty ape, or whatever the fuck. It's like, okay. I mean, that feels a little on the nose.
The really direct quotes, I don't think worked at all. It was, the subtle references where it was, oh, the astronauts taking off, or like them calling Caesar's mother Bright Eyes. That those more subtle references were better. And granted, like, they're references to a movie that came out, 70 years ago. So your most audiences are like, huh, that's the thing they said in that thing I haven't seen ever. But we've seen it quite recently, so it stands out a lot more. Also, I just think they really deliver the lines in a way to, like, draw attention to them.
Yeah, exactly. I've heard similar complaints about, like, the newest Alien film as well, where they just, like, throw in some quotes here and there where it's like, okay, well, did you have to do that, though?
Right. But, that's a pretty minor complaint. Otherwise, I think it's very well done. I like the story and stuff. I don't think it's necessarily revolutionary, but I think the biggest thing is just Andy Serkis's performance as Caesar. I think it's insane. The moment when he says no for the first time, I'm like, it's like genuine chills. You're like, fuck, dude, it's so like raw and kind of scary, but also like, yeah, go get him. It's a protagonist moment. But then you're also sitting there like, man, what are the implications for this for, like, humans? And I'm a human, so I'm also looking at it from that angle. It's just a lot of stuff going on here.
Yeah, overall, I think it's a pretty solid film, just it being much more modern than the previous ones we've seen definitely helps it out a lot for me. Just with the general performances, the story structure as well, the way in which they deliver lines is something I'm much more accustomed to than the much more slow and frankly bad acting from the previous film. Just like, come on, dude. Let's pick up the pace a little bit here. But yeah, I thought it was a good movie overall. I don't have too many thoughts about it, to be honest. Like, I don't know. It is kind of a pretty normal looking movie for me. Just like when I think of a movie experience, this is kind of what I think of.
Yeah, I haven't said anything. I'm kind of with Nico. I think it's an alright movie. I don't think it like anything particularly stand out outside of, like, the main performance. I will say it's quite good. They do a really good job of just expressing emotion on the CG model's face for Caesar, especially like when he's like, got fucking locked up. They do a good job of just making him feel human, which is, the whole fucking point. But yeah, I don't have any, like, major, like, massive problems too. I do wish they maybe focus a bit more on, like, the outbreak side of the movie, other than just because there's two parts, I assume, to the fucking planet being taken over by apes. I don't know anything about this trilogy, but, I assume there's the fucking monkeys rising in power, and then there's also the viral outbreak happening with the fucking disease that they've been alluding to with, the one guy fucking dying. And I assume that's also, maybe I'm just wrong, maybe it's just stupid, why the fucking city was just completely barren, like San Francisco is just dead when they're just taking it over. That shit was so weird. I assume it was maybe because of, like, the viral outbreak was, like, the early stages and people, but maybe it was just dumb. I don't know. That shit was fucking weird. It felt like I was looking at the fucking, The Division, just, like, newspapers everywhere. It's just like some abandoned city. It was so strange.
Oh, that's a game someone should have suggested. No, unfortunately, though, Jackson, it didn't look like the outbreak happened yet. It didn't really even seem like anyone really knew that this rampage was happening. Like, all the people on the bridge, you'd think that maybe it was like, oh, they're evacuating the city. No, they're just driving, it seems like.
And it's just crazy that it took so long and they got so far. Like, It's just insane. Like, they took over the entire fucking Genesis facility, and like the CEO didn't even know what happened until he walked into the middle of them all staring at him. Just baffling. There's it's like kind of the thing with something I brought up with movies before. It's like, this shit's fucking stupid, and you can make claims about like this wouldn't actually happen in real life, but it did happen in the movie. So like, I don't know, it's still fucking dumb. There's a lot of dumb shit that happens, but I like the character development of the main guy. And I think the CG effects were pretty good for the time. It's an alright looking movie. It's got some cool cinematography, like that one scene where they're going through the trees in the suburb and all the fucking leaves are falling down. That shit was fucking cool. Big fan of that. Just the fucking shot of them with the spears from the fence of the zoo on top of the building. They're chucking that shit. Pretty gnarly as well. I think it's really funny that there was a guy on horseback that's trying to solo a fucking gorilla. That shit is so stupid.
Oh yeah,
that guy's got insane balls. But yeah, I think it's a fun movie experience. You know, this, like Nico said, this feels like a movie because it is. It's a big blockbuster movie.
I do think it's kind of weird that this was the summer blockbuster when it came out. It's not really your prototypical blockbuster film, you know?
Definitely not.
I mean, it was kind of shown off that way in, like, the trailers and shit like that, because they did basically just focus on all the big old ruckus them monkeys were causing. It was just, like, that shot of the fucking gorilla charging at the helicopter and stuff like that. That's how they were hyping up this film. So, Jackson, I'm not sure if you caught this or not, but there was an after-credit scene for this movie.
I did not watch that, no.
Yeah, so there's an after-credit scene for this movie that does show the fucking neighbor. He's a pilot, and we see him going to the airport, and he, like, you know, fucking, like, drips blood or whatever, and he's like, huh, well, whatever, and then he gets on a plane, and then it immediately goes to, we're seeing, like, how the infection is spreading via, like, the fucking planes and shit.
I thought you guys say, like, opens up, like, the fucking map for Plague Inc. or some shit.
Well, no, that's actually kind of exactly what happens.
Oh, that's funny.
Isn't there... Wait, there's literally an expansion for Plague Inc. where they have the simian flu from this movie.
There is, yes.
Oh, that's really funny.
I think it gives you the special ability to, like, trigger ape uprisings to, like, offset research.
Yeah, some shit like that.
One question, maybe I'm just fucking retarded, but when they went into the zoo to just free a bunch of other apes, did they have, like, more of the gas they were making them smart with, or did they just free a bunch of apes and the freed apes were just like, hell yeah, and they just started following them?
I think what we're meant to assume is that the smart apes are infectious with, you know, the virus that makes them smart but kills humans, and so the apes from the zoo got exposed to it, you know, over time as they were running along.
That also makes sense. I was gonna go with Jackson's idea where it was just like the smart apes are leading the dumb apes, and that's just how it goes.
Yeah, it's kind of just what I assumed as well. They were just, you know, once you have a big enough group, they're just kind of follow along.
Yeah. Dude, I was gonna make an insane comment and be like, this is just a weird play on a zombie apocalypse, like, genre of movie. But, you know, whether or not that's true. I mean, I just think it's funny that it starts with a viral infection. It's just that this time the virus happens to take the shape of a fucking monkey
Apes.
and it also kills people.
An ape apocalypse, if you will.
Yeah, exactly.
One thing I like too is just the way he just breaks out of the cage too. He's very methodical about everything. It's just kind of one step at a time.
Yeah.
When I was watching Tinichi, and he fucking hated that. She goes like, and there he gets freezed in one fell swoop, and I was like, there's so much setup to all of this. What are you talking about? Yeah, I thought it was entertaining, and I like the challenge they do to the fucking captors. Big fan of them fucking murking the main guy, Draco Malfoy. Funny seeing him in here. Bro fell off.
Yeah.
Pretty silly.
Tanner, what do you think about the underlying socioeconomic message of this movie?
Dude, personally, I'm all for animal testing, so I don't really care about the theme of this movie.
Dude, that's not what I was going for, but I like your answer.
What's the connection to the main evil corporation named Genesis? Is that a connection to the,
This is the beginning of the apes.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to make... I genuinely don't know. This is like... Is there some sort of connection to Genesis? I don't know anything about that shit.
Genesis, it just means the beginning.
I mean, you guess it could
also,
look at
it's a very, like, generic evil corporation name. I think literally one of the Terminator corporations is called Genesis as well.
It's funny.
Like also the name of the facility in Jurassic Park, one of them is InGen, very close. Anyway.
Well, sounds like I'm knocking it one rank for that. Oh well.
Holy smokes. Don't do that.
I gotta say, they really made that one ape look really fucking evil, didn't they?
The one with the one eye?
Yeah.
I think that's the point. I mean, the whole backstory to that was, in fact, that he was just tested at multiple different fucking labs. So
Yeah.
I think he's just harboring the most resentment, if anything. So maybe that is the case.
Koba's gonna really pop off in the next 2 films, I tell you what.
Yeah, they're really setting him up. They did that fucking, like, superhero shot as they were, like, on the fucking tram or whatever. It's just like, these are your 4 big monkeys. I hope you are getting excited for what kooky adventures they go on soon.
I am both excited and not for the following sequels. I heard they're good, but I don't have high hopes for that.
Have any of us seen this trilogy
Tanner's
before?
seen them all. I think it's a quadrilogy now, actually.
It is a quadrilogy now. I haven't seen the 4th one. I own the trilogy on Blu-ray, so I've seen all of them.
I think I also own the trilogy, but no, I've only seen the first one.
Whoa.
Yeah. Also, Jackson kind of touched on this before, but, like, holy shit, the fucking security in Genesis is just terrible. How the fuck did that ape escape to begin with?
Yeah, the very first one is crazy.
Yeah.
Ape escape?
Yeah, we're just gonna open the door and hope we get it by the neck. Come on, man. What the fuck is that?
There are just zero precautions being taken.
I did think that part was silly. Like, yeah, let's try to trick this monkey that's on super smart juice by giving
Dude,
it its
that's
favorite
also
drink.
commentary or something.
Anyway.
So, boys, is that Ape Escape?
Oh,
Ape Escape, the movie.
There we go.
These guys went bananas.
Oh, yeah. I'm shocked at the lack of monkey puns in this film.
I quite frankly admire this movie for that.
I really wish that, like, when they were first, like, when fucking Caesar was organizing the boys, and he was, like, getting ready for them all to get out of there, he was like, okay, remember, no monkey business.
Oh my god.
He just says that. He doesn't even do the weird growl, like, talking he has to do.
Yeah.
Insane.
Oh, I'm sticking at a B, personally.
I'm sticking with my A-.
A- sounds about right to me.
And it lands at a B+ overall.
Hell yeah.
Whoa.
The next movie we watched this week was Tanner's pick, that being the 2007 film 28 Weeks Later, aka the sequel follow-up film to 28 Days Later.
That's right, everyone. 28 weeks later, takes place 28 weeks after the outbreak of the rage virus. And all of the zombies have died off. They starve to death because they're too angry to eat. And so the U.S. military has come in to start trying to reclaim London for now, but, they probably plan on reclaiming the whole country later. And so we're joining this group of survivors in London. These 2 children are reunited with their father. There's a bunch of family drama stuff, but I don't need to get into that. Eventually, their mother gets brought in, and she has a special mutation where she has the virus, but she's not angry. And then people get infected. There's a big ol' outbreak that absolutely fucks the safe zone. It is done for, never to return. And now the virus is back, but the children escape alive at the end. The end. Fun fact, the final shot in this movie of the infected in Paris was a last-second idea on the part of the director, and it was so last-second they had to, film it guerrilla style where they didn't get permits or anything. They just went to Paris, got, a couple of randos to be their zombies and just, filmed it on, a camcorder or some shit. I don't know.
It did look like it, and quite frankly, I think it fits, quite ironically.
Yeah, I think it's a really cool shot.
Dude, holy contrivances, Batman.
Well, hang on now.
Listen.
Let Tanner rank the movie.
Go on, Tanner.
Yeah. I'm very much on the fence on if I like this one more than the first film or not. Right now, I'm having them at the same rank of an S-.
Dude, are you stupid? It's a C-.
Well,
What the fuck?
Personally, I'm at a C+. I think this is a weaker film than the first one for me. I give the first one a B-.
I gave this a B plus personally.
There are 2 wolves.
Where the hell did I put this other movie?
B minus, I think. I think we all gave it B minus except for Tanner.
Yeah, exactly. Tanner gave it an S minus.
Like I was alluding to, this movie has way too many conveniences and contrivances for this movie suffers so bad from, of course this happened because movie. One of the biggest problems I have with this movie is I get the dad has his quote-unquote all-access pass, but A, why does that allow him access to places he doesn't actually necessarily need to be? And B, why is there zero security around a subject that's infected with the virus they've been trying to eliminate and finally have, like, a subject? Why would they leave her completely unguarded? There should have been guards at multiple locations, not just in the room with her. And then also, how the fuck did this guy infect so many soldiers? Did they just see a guy lose his fucking mind and didn't take any shots? Like, what the fuck?
Preach!
What's going on here?
Preach!
How did he even get out in the first place?
Yeah, how did he... Like, what the fuck is going on? Why did that infection happen because they needed more movie? That is the only... That scene could have happened at the end of the movie, and that could have been whatever the fucking movie after this would have been. That could have been the last scene. I think the action and the acting in this movie is fine. I think that's fine, but the amount of contrivances and just, like, things happening because movie needs to happen is just what... Because I think Jackson or whoever asked me earlier this week what I thought of the movie, and I was like, well, it's got its issues, and I do think it's better than the last movie for the reasons that I think the acting's better and the actions are good, but just the fucking contrivances, like, why the fuck were choices made? Like, and, like, the kids escaping, I get they found them pretty much immediately, but, like, if the area was really so as locked down as it was, how do they let 2 preteen/teenage kids escape? Like, come on, they're military, what the fuck? It's, of course, it's a slice of the movie where it's like, you know, things have to happen, but it's like, if things were really going as well as they were, none of this would have happened, quite frankly.
Honestly, I think it's crazy that they didn't do something more interesting with how the outbreak started in the first place. Like, it's just the guy goes in there, kisses his wife, and that's what starts it all. I think it would have been interesting if there was, like, you know, the wife also was fucking strapped down, but maybe she was released slightly and for, like, I don't know, she is, like, immune, but she still has some way of transmitting it. Like, you know, the virus affects her a little bit, but she still has, like, most of her functions, really. Like, maybe she's got, like, it's like what the fuck? It's like where, like, you, like, your brain's telling you to do something, but you don't want to do it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's like your brain's like, run yourself off the fucking road. I can't think of the word for that right now.
Yeah, like the Call of the Void.
Yeah, Call of the Void, whatever you want to call that. Something like that with it, maybe. I feel like there was just something more interesting narratively they could have done to start the outbreak here, and they just didn't do it. Well, like, even just, like, when they found their mom, maybe, obviously I don't think they wanted to kill the kids off earlier because they've got plot reasons for, like, finding a cure later in the other movies, but maybe somebody else, well, like, some soldiers found her out in the fucking wild or something, and she infected them, and that started an outwards outbreak, and they worked their way into the safe zone, and then something happened that way. So it's a little bit less contrived and more interesting, potentially, to the plot. Because then it even, like, leaves the question of, you know, like, oh, she was immune or something, but she still affected people. What's going on there, you know? Because it all just felt really forced the whole way this all happened, and it just escalated so fucking quickly that, like, the pacing was just so fucking fast paced the second that guy kissed his wife, and it all just went downhill to shit.
Which, like, by the way, why is the wife still alive? How did she get out of that house? We see her, like, surrounded by zombies. The place is fucking filled to the brim with them. And we see that, like, the zombies don't think that she's one of them either, because the dad immediately kills her once he's infected.
Yeah. I mean, the other issue with this, too, I'm jumping all over the other issue here is immediately when they locked everybody downstairs in that room, because it's the quote-unquote safe room, I knew immediately that everybody in that room was gonna get infected and everybody's gonna fucking die.
Yeah.
And then I was later, like, contemplating, after people were getting infected and shit, why the fuck weren't there soldiers guarding these people, and why weren't there soldiers inside the building? Why was the call to send them all in the same direction? Also, the dad has teleportation powers? Am I fucking crazy? Like, what? Why is he able to appear, disappear, be in one place, and then go to another place? He's just fucking everywhere. Like, what?
Nah, dude, for
Why?
some reason he's just like really stealthy and he's able to hide around and somehow just think, I guess, to some degree still, instead of just being like any other zombie and like immediately trying to charge everyone he sees.
The dad was that one fucking dude in the Sadness where he's just the fucking Undertaker infected guy that's just hunting down the main cast the entire fucking movie.
But, like, why would you have the scene of him on the streets in, like, a store, where because it was the shot where it was the picture getting burned up, and obviously it was with him. The picture was getting burned up, and he was right next to it. Are we just not supposed to assume... Like, I didn't assume in that scene he was gonna die, because I knew where the movie was going and what it was doing. I didn't assume he died, but, like, logically in my brain, if the picture's getting burnt up and everything, why does he not die? This is what I'm talking about. This movie has a lot of
hiding behind a pillar or something.
I don't know. This movie has some goofy ass choices, and like I said, this is probably one of the movies that we've watched that suffers the most from it happened because movie needs to happen.
Dude, speaking of goofy, the helicopter just mowing down a bunch of zombies.
Dude, that shit was sweet. What are you talking about?
No, that helicopter, the rotors, you don't have so much control that you don't hit the ground and fucking crash that thing. That's fucking bullshit.
That was fucking hilarious. I'm a big fan of that scene. That shit was awesome.
It's funny that it happened, but this is supposed to be like a much more grounded take on like zombies and shit like that. It doesn't belong in this film.
And you're gonna tell me that Pilot doesn't get infected at all with all the fucking blood and shit everywhere? Like, I get he's enclosed, but what? I don't know, man.
Anyways, Tanner, what did you think of this movie?
I think you guys have very legitimate points. Personally, the contrivances did not bother me at all. My sense of immersion was not broken for this film, and so that wasn't really a big problem for me. My big positives for this film, I thought the opening was really solid. One thing that especially struck me is how we're in this pitch black house and whatever, and then when they go and get the boy, they open it and it's like, oh, it's fucking like noon day outside. I thought that was a cool bit of world building where it's like, oh, this is what people are having to do to survive. They have to like force themselves to be in darkness all the time. And then I just think that's a really cool scene. I think the big thing this movie does well is set pieces. I think there's lots of really cool moments, like, oh shit, I can't believe that happened, that was crazy. Like, all the people in the garage getting fucking eaten up, the like fire bombing of London, that was a crazy scene.
But it looked really bad is the problem.
It didn't look great. That's one of my negatives, is some of the effects. But and also the big thing I like about this movie is I thought it was a pretty interesting setup. I realize I definitely have not seen this one before. And when I found out, oh, all the infected are dead, I'm like, oh, okay. This immediately became way more interesting to me, just because of that. My biggest negative is the shaky cam. I think some of the cinematography at times doesn't come across very well. I'm like, this is making me a bit sick, and I'd rather just be able to see what's happening.
Do you like that whole night vision section? Was that pretty fun?
Dude, that was badass, actually. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, you thought it was cool when the dad was like killing that woman, and we just saw like a POV of it happening.
And your POV is the scope, but then he takes it and he fucking kills her.
No shit.
That was awesome.
What are you talking about?
That was awesome, dude. I love that.
I agree with Nico. I don't think the fucking night vision camera shit was very cool. I think it was very nauseating to watch, and it made me feel claustrophobic, quite frankly.
It was supposed to.
Speaking of camera, though, I don't like that they're solidifying this dog shit ass camera quality as like an artistic effect for the. I'm hoping they drop that. The movie still is in very low quality with this next one. It's been 5 years. I think they could have purchased a better camera than that. But obviously, it's an artistic choice. I get what they're going for. I'm still not a big fan. I do agree with Tanner, though. I think that intro scene is fucking awesome. Big fan of that. It does have some cool set pieces as well. There's some striking things that happen within the plot of the movie, like them just fucking doing a kill order on the entire cast was a shocking turn of events for me, and I did enjoy that twist. I do just like the idea that it is a zombie movie, like fundamentally, where the outbreak has been completely fucking wiped out just from the zombies dying. I do like that they just address the after of the apocalypse, because it's not something that's really talked about a lot in a pretty saturated genre. And the fucking soundtrack, man, the first movie introduced a lot of these songs, but I still think it's really solid and adds a lot of tension to a lot of scenes. Big fan of that. I think it's an enjoyable movie overall, but it definitely has a pretty weak script and not the greatest writing, but it's a fun movie.
This film feels like such a basic and generic Sci-Fi Channel zombie movie. Like, Tanner, you're shaking your head. Like, this shit belongs as fucking Super Croc, okay? Did you think that shit was S- tier?
Dude, you're retarded, so...
Definitely not Super Croc level.
Yeah, I definitely didn't think this, based on what I've said, I didn't think it was the best thing ever, but I think to compare it to Super Croc is an absolute insane call.
It's called exaggerating, Dylan. I'm exaggerating to make it funny.
Why don't you exaggerate my dick in your mouth?
Dude, I'm gonna exaggerate your dick in my ass.
Oh.
The daughter, man, the daughter. And I'm not saying she's hot, but Jesus Christ, her eyes were so distracting. They're so fucking
Right?
green, and they're so big and open. It was like every scene she's on, I'm just like, it looks fake. Like it's just stupid. I just can't pay attention to anything else.
I was considering bringing that up too. I was gonna say something along the lines of, I don't know how to say this without sounding like a pedophile, but the daughter's eyes are striking, let's say.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm pretty sure she was of age when this film was being made. She's like fucking almost 40 or some shit like that now. But speaking of the daughter, her actual name, the actress, is Imogen Poots.
What the fuck?
I saw that
Is she
as
South
well.
African?
I'd assume she's Irish, and we don't know how to pronounce her first name the correct way.
That would also make sense.
And speaking of which, the son, his name is Macintosh Muggleton.
Let's fucking go, dude. That's a Harry Potter-ass name if I've ever heard
true?
one.
I
Yes.
didn't look that one up. That's a
Let's
fucking
go.
Harry Potter-ass name, dude.
That's so good.
Yeah, I saw that shit when we were scrolling through the cast. It's just baffling. Like, who the fuck names their kid Macintosh when their name's already Muggleton? Like, you can't throw them two fucking
Europeans,
curveballs.
dude. Europeans.
Those crazy British people, man.
They think that stuff's eccentric or some shit, dude. I don't know.
Is this movie supposed to be like some fucking anti-American propaganda? Because holy shit, the Americans occupying London are actual retards.
They're wildly incompetent throughout this
It's,
film.
it's truly baffling.
Why the fuck do they just make everything dark when they're doing the big old lockdown? Like, why don't they let the refugees have a little light in there?
We're gonna make it impossible for you guys to defend yourself.
Yeah, that was and dude, I gotta say, despite my negatives, what I will say is when they were like, alright, we can't ID targets, you're open to fire at will, that shit kind of got me, not gonna lie. When that happened, I was like, shit's about to get fucking real, and a lot of bad shit's about to happen. Now, unfortunately, that part didn't last very long. But, like, it kind of puts you in the perspective of, holy shit, because obviously we don't want that, but you need to put yourself in the shoes of, we need to make sure this infection doesn't fucking go anywhere, and sometimes that just means you gotta fucking kill everything on sight. So I think that definitely added to the atmosphere of the movie. I appreciate that, at least. But yeah, fucking Hawkeye was in this movie. That was pretty cool. I think it was Idris Elba is the one general guy.
Yeah,
That's pretty
he
cool.
is.
He's fucking the gatekeeper from Thor or something. I don't remember if he's called the gatekeeper, but you know who I mean. Yeah, I don't really have anything else major to say about this movie, though.
You're thinking of he's Heimdall from Thor.
Yeah,
Dylan.
Heimdall from Thor, yeah.
Dude, I literally just looked it up. Her name is pronounced Imagine. It is, in fact, some fucking, Celtic bullshit.
Ooh.
Is Poot still pronounced that way?
I'd assume so.
Oh, no.
Imagine Poots.
Imagine Poot. Nice.
Dude, I might eat some Taco Bell after this. I'd be imagining some Poots up till then.
Anyway.
Holy fuck.
What?
Dude, I just pulled up her Wikipedia and saw her middle name. I want you guys to guess what her middle name is. I am telling you, it is the funniest possible one.
Oh, man.
Big.
Aquafina.
Fucking... What's the one name I'm trying to think of? Alfalfa. That's not the name I was thinking of, but we'll go with that one. Bartholomew.
Her middle name is Gay.
No!
Gay Poot. Oh my god.
Her full name is Imagine Gay Poots.
What the...
Why did her
Why did
parents
they
hate
do
her?
that to her?
Imagine Gay Poots. Crazy.
Oh, I'm so sorry, actress. We're not laughing at you. We're just laughing at the choices your parents
We're
made.
laughing at your parents, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're fucking
What an
comedians, man.
unfortunate name, dude.
Imagine Gay Poot. Why?
That's so... Oh, man.
Well,
Anyway, do we
boys-
have anything else to say about this movie?
No.
I think that was about it for me. Not a very good film. Yeah, I'm sticking with C-.
Yeah, I'm sticking with my rank.
Quite frankly, I pissed myself off talking about this movie out loud. I'm dropping it to a C+.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I just really fucked with this movie. I'm
know.
gonna stick with an S-.
After all that, Tanner, after all that vitriol we threw at it.
Dude, Immersion is a bitch.
Anyways, it lands at a B- overall.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Tanner, you now finally understand what Dylan is like. You're him for this movie.
No, he's not getting outrageously ridiculed for it, though, is the problem here.
We are ridiculing him for it.
Not as much as you ridicule me. Anyway, let's move on.
The final movie we watched this week was Nico's pick, that being the 2014 film Whiplash.
Dude, Whiplash is a film about Andrew, a drummer at the most prestigious music school in the country, dealing with a music teacher who's pissed off that he's bald. Tanner, what's your fun fact?
Fun fact, this movie was filmed in 19 days.
Oh my gosh.
Additional fun fact, this is our first Blumhouse movie.
What's a Blumhouse movie?
Blumhouse, Dylan, is a studio who mainly just produces shit movies. It's a bunch of schlocky horror movies that are made in
I thought they did Five
incredibly...
Nights at Freddy's.
Fuck! God damn it! Never mind. I forgot about that one.
Am I missing a joke here?
No, this is actually a Blumhouse movie, Tanner.
Okay.
That's all there is
Anyway,
to it.
I'm sitting at an A-.
I'm sitting in S. Dylan, how about you?
I gave it... Where is it? I gave it an A, personally.
And I'm at an S-.
There we go.
Very good movie.
Does anybody here play instruments besides me and Jackson? I think this movie takes the, instrument playing to an extreme. I don't know if I can recall any tales of it being this intense, but I do definitely see the struggle in our main character's story. It's definitely one of those, you gotta be able to, sweat and bleed and cry for what you want. And a lot of people would look at this teacher and be like, that's a very unorthodox way to do things. He's just an asshole. He isn't teaching them. He's fucking berating them. But I do agree, I don't remember the line verbatim, but basically he was saying that the way we're raising and teaching kids nowadays is very soft and we're kind of just passing them along. My goal on this planet is to make people push themselves to their limits and go beyond that, because we're never truly aware of what we're capable of until we're pushed to do things we thought we could never do before, which I thought was a very powerful message in this movie. And then me obviously having a music background, I did appreciate a lot of this. I like some of the musical pieces in general. I thought it added a bit of realism, but also just it deals with a turmoil struggle with, trying to be the best, and he even has the conflict with his family where it's oh, well, look at my son. He's the all-star fucking running back or whatever the fuck of the football team. And they're all praising him, and he's oh, well, I made it to this jazz band for one of the most prestigious schools, and his family's okay, whatever the fuck that's supposed to mean. Anyway, you can see that guy, he's fucking playing football. And it just shows, how much value people put on something versus another thing, even though everybody can have their right to their own prestige in their own way. It's just unfortunate how it's received in today's, community. which is really unfortunate, which pushes our main character to try even harder to gain the recognition, which also just happens to be the negative loop that causes his downfall, but eventually brings him back for his redemption at the end. I thought this movie was pretty good. I might actually, based on what I'm saying now, I might actually raise it. I think I'm fucking capping myself for saying A, but I'll let you guys go ahead and guess this movie too.
Wait, so Dylan, just to clarify, are you on J.K. Simmons' side in this movie, Fletcher, the teacher?
I may not agree with all of his methods, and I think some of them may be unorthodox, but I think the value that he was inciting when he was, like, trying to push people to their limits, I do agree with that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, a big part of this film is Fletcher's character, and especially that speech that he does give to our main character, Andrew, where, he's talking about, he's pushing people well beyond what is to be expected of them and demanding perfection in an effort to create, another one of the musical greats. And the film does kind of pose this as a question of, well, how far are you willing to go to achieve something? And is this even right, what he's doing? Is it worth it? Especially because Fletcher's methods do cause a kid to commit suicide. So, is that worth it, Dylan?
He also could have the main character almost just fucking died as well in the car crash because he was so hellbound on getting there. He threw away opportunities with his girlfriend. He basically just threw away his entire life for this dude.
Now, I have a very unpopular thought process and opinion amongst most people. In my opinion, I think suicide is ultimately the person who's committing its choice. I don't think that it can be forced by anybody else, to be quite frank.
I mean, obviously, but there are things that can make somebody more likely to do something. Let's say your entire family, you guys are all very hunky-dory, and then one day your entire family just fucking hates you. They all think you did something terrible, but obviously you didn't. But they all think you did, and they resent you, and they're calling you names and all this shit. And if somebody kills themselves for that, is that their fault? I would say no, personally.
I still think ultimately, at the end of the day, it's the person who's committing its choice. But like I said, I have a very unpopular opinion in regards to these kinds of things.
That's valid.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't necessarily think that what you're saying is wrong here. Again, the film makes it very open-ended here, where it is ultimately hey, does this mean that the turmoil Fletcher's putting his students through worth it or not? Which,
I mean...
Yeah, what's up?
To weigh the scales here, yes, the death of anybody is a significant happening, but if we're gonna weigh that against all of the students that he's had in his class, and also the ones that just either quit or just stuck with it, I think it would speak measures more if there were multiple people self-harming, killing themselves, and all that kind of stuff who wanted to go along that route of argument. But if it's the one kid from several years ago, I'm not trying to be insensitive or unsympathetic. It's just...
I mean, for all we know, there are more cases of that. I don't know if arguing his kill ratio isn't that high is that great of an argument. And even, with the one example of his, successful student he gives... That guy also fucking, drank himself to death or something, which you can kind of, by proxy, say, oh, maybe it's because of this abuse he suffered at the hands of his music teacher. So even in, the positive, outcomes of this teaching style, they leave in that touch of, well, maybe it's still fucked up.
Yeah, and especially since, he's doing all of this for what he admits is kind of a dying music genre, so...
Yeah.
Anyways, back to my temperature check.
Yeah.
Do you guys think this movie had a good or a bad ending? Not from your perspective of the movie, but from the main character's perspective. Was his ending good or bad?
I think it had a good ending.
Good.
I think it's kind of tough to say. It's is this film kind of meant to be a cautionary tale? Is it meant to feel more inspirational? Personally for me, I feel like it is more of a bad ending. I don't think that this is good what either character... both characters are getting exactly what they wanted in the end, but it's is that a good thing?
I think the big thing is, and what makes me lean into it being a bad ending, is just because this movie does a very good job with its characterizations. It has a lot of important building scenes, and it's very thoughtful in which ones they use, because this movie actually did have a shit ton of extra takes that they just didn't fucking use because they shot it very quickly. I think the entire shooting was in a week or something ridiculous for like
Yeah, Tanner
1 or
said
2
it was
weeks.
like 19 days, right?
Yeah, something fucking ridiculous. And they shot a ton in that time and just barely used any of it, frankly. So they're methodical in what they use for their character moments. But, like, we know a lot. Like, this kid is pretty lonely. He doesn't really have any friends. He's neglected in his band. His family doesn't really care that much about him, as we saw in the fucking family scene. And he's immediately just baited along by Fletcher because he gives him any amount of praise, and it's just immediately the most obvious abusive relationship of all time. He's constantly just giving him these minor things of satisfaction and hope, and then immediately just dashes them away. But he always gives him those breadcrumbs so that he can come back and have a reason to keep doing that. And it is just the most obvious fucking abusive, manipulative relationship of all fucking time. It's just impossible to feel nothing but sorrow for Newman's situation, how he's just being fucking molded into somebody. Like, maybe he likes it in the end, but, like, is it right for somebody to be in an abusive relationship if they do have those moments of being happy? I would say no, generally speaking. And Fletcher is just, like, he's not subtle about his motives at all. And he really just cares about the fucking means, or the ends, I guess. He doesn't care about the means at all of what he's doing. And, like, we see plenty of other people are just in, like, distress, basically, with his class. Like, the fucking other guy that he was replacing on the drums, the original guy that was core, just the outburst he had by him missing the fucking folder, I think is really explanatory about this general mental state of the people in this band. They're all on edge. They're all, like, just super fucked up because, you know, any minor thing could set this guy off, and they're all in similar situations to Newman where they want to be on here. They're stuck in that relationship. Maybe they like it, but, you know, they probably shouldn't. And
yeah,
I
he's
think
so good at putting them at each other's throats as well. Like, just the way in which he's able to manipulate them in that way. Like, just like when that first, like, the original, like, drummer who Andrew was in a class with comes in, he's like, hey, I found this guy, he's gonna try the drums here real quick. Let's have you two fucking do this little drum thing real quick, and we'll see which one of you like more. And, you know, fucking Andrew does his thing, he's like, nah, fuck you, Andrew. And the other guy comes in, like, fucking does his drums, he's like, oh, perfect. It's like, he would never fucking say that any of his students did something perfectly. This was solely to piss Andrew off.
Yeah, he is insanely good at manipulating. He's, like, got it down to a fucking science. I wouldn't be shocked if he got a master's in psychology before he became a musical instructor.
Yeah.
It's just on that level. And, like, you know, fucking Newman was doing pretty good, man. He got a girlfriend pretty early on prior to the core thing, and, like, he could have had a good life if he just didn't do that. And I think the ending is really just showing that he was totally at the fucking beck and call of Fletcher at that point. Even after that car accident and him just doing the total crash out, he was still just enthralled by this guy at the end. And, you know, you can say that his means won, he became an incredible drummer or something, but I really just see it as, like, a guy that just lost his way, and it was sad. Like, honestly, I was fucked up when he walks away from his father after the hug, you know, because I genuinely wanted him to just fucking leave, because Fletcher's just not good for him, and he goes back, and that shit is fucking heartbreaking, honestly.
Yeah, the way you describe it's like an abusive relationship.
Because it is!
Yeah.
It is the definition of a fucking abusive relationship, and that's why I'm very much on the this is a bad ending. Fucking Newman might be happy, but this is not good for him. It's very unfortunate the position he found himself in because he was such an emotionally vulnerable person, and he was taken advantage of.
But it's like, at the same time, you can kind of feel why he wants to earn his respect throughout the film. And, like, during that big last scene where fucking fucking Fletcher, like, you know, he nods his head and he's like, yeah, you're doing it, kid. Or, like, when he, like, walks up and, like, adjusts the cymbals to, like, help him out, it's like, he finally earned his respect. He's finally gotten what he wanted. It's like, damn, hell yeah. But also, damn, that's the thing, though, is that when does it end? Yeah.
Because I don't think Fletcher's ever going to stop doing the shit he's already currently been doing the entire movie with this guy. Presumably, they're going to get to another breaking point where he fucking tackles the guy, because it's probably going to be more severe that next time. And I just cannot see this ending well at all for this guy. It's just insanely unhealthy.
It's weird hearing you guys give what I view as criticism, but yet ranking
No, this
the
is
movie
all
higher,
good stuff, Dylan.
I know. I'm trying to program my brain to not register this as criticism. I've been trying to fight that urge this whole time, so please forgive me for calling it criticism in the first place.
This is some incredible character writing. This is both the main characters, fucking Fletcher and Newman, are insanely well written for the most part. And the focus of the script on their interactions does a really good job of just making a very entertaining movie for the most part. I really don't have a crazy amount of flaws for it, generally speaking.
Yeah.
There's some, jazz heads will fucking knock a bunch of the actual, details of the stuff.
He for sure wasn't playing a lot of the music accurately, but who cares? He made it look close enough.
Yeah, the big thing, though, is, this is a character drama at the end of the day, and them playing music is just a vehicle to move that plot along. Realistically, this movie could take place in any setting. It's just this one happens to be music, and it'd still be the same movie.
I can appreciate that this is one of those movies where we both all saw the same thing, but came to two different conclusions, and there's not necessarily anything wrong with either of them.
Yeah, so I was the number one hater of this movie in terms of our ranks.
A-, boo. You fucking hate this shit? You wanted to watch that stupid zombie movie instead, didn't you? Fuck you.
Oh yeah, I do like the zombie movie more. So the biggest positives for me were J.K. Simmons knocked it out of the fucking park. What the fuck? Holy shit.
He's so good.
And then I agree with everything we've been saying about the themes and how interesting this sort of dance between greatness and abuse is. It invokes Mike Tyson and Michael Jackson, who were both arguably... Well, in Michael Jackson, yes, he was definitely abused as a child. Mike Tyson, it's a bit more nebulous on if you'd say it was abuse, but they achieved greatness because of it. My biggest problem with this film, that really dragged my rank down, was the ending. And I don't mean what happens, I just mean the way it happens. I don't like how abrupt it is. It really feels like it comes out of nowhere, and for me, there was a disconnect in where this sort of sudden growth for Newman came from, because what we see is he presumably takes a several weeks, maybe even months break from drumming, and then he signs up to be in this concert at the very end, and he's suddenly good enough for Fletcher. And I didn't feel like that made sense to me, really.
Do you want an explanation for this?
I guess, was Newman, I guess, did I miss that Newman was, still practicing in that off time after he gets kicked out of the class, or?
No, the big thing, and this is, in your defense, something you would probably miss if it wasn't for, your lack of experience with music. Basically, Fletcher's whole shtick with the you're on and off my tempo, that kind of thing. Newman's an incredible drummer. He always has been. A lot of the things that Fletcher was knocking him for was basically just to fuck with him. It was never specifically because he was right or wrong or anything. And as they demonstrated in early parts of the movie, specifically with the very first part where somebody was out of tune but he actually wasn't, it's really all just a mental game about trying to weed people out and grow their confidence. And in the end, Newman's still an incredible drummer. All the things he was knocking for previously were kind of just some fucking bullshit because he just wanted to, abuse him, basically. And at the very end, the big revelation that Newman has is that he finally gets the confidence to stand up for himself and fight back against Fletcher. And that's what he does. He just fucking completely goes off script and fights what this guy's trying to do. He doesn't give in to that. And that's what Fletcher loves, because he was looking for somebody to do that all along. He wants people to combat him and to actually voice their opinion. Which, really goes back to that one of those first scenes of the movie where he's calling out the people tuning. He wants somebody to stand up and become that great. And he sees Newman do that in the end. And that's why Fletcher is happy, because he finally found that student that he's always wanted. And that's why Newman's happy, because he was finally able to get the approval of Fletcher, which is what he always wanted at the end. That's the TLDR. At least my interpretation. Obviously, this movie's very open-ended.
Yeah. I was going to add on, one of my complaints is that because I'm not a musician and have no knowledge in that area, I can't actually evaluate how good Newman is or if he is making any mistakes or whatever. And I think that's a perfectly valid interpretation you had. My problem is, if it is the case that like all these mistakes he's getting called out on are just bullshit, and like there actually isn't room for him to improve other than like self-confidence. I think that really kind of takes away from the theming and the message. Like I
think you're misinterpreting my words. He definitely can improve, and he does. Like specifically with his like fast drumming, that type of thing. You know, there certainly are things that he does improve throughout the movie. But I was really just trying to say that there are a lot of times where Newman is just repeating the same thing for Fletcher because Fletcher's just trying to fuck with him.
Okay. In that case, yeah, whatever. I'm on the same page as you, where I was like, I'm sure some of this is like bullshit, like critiques, and some of it is legit, and I don't have the ability to discern those two. And so when we're going, you know, from him leaving the school to that final concert, I don't really get to see any like objective improvement in his abilities, and it being purely a matter of self-confidence isn't satisfying to me as like that's what needed to happen.
What sort of improvement do you think you would have needed to see to where you're like, oh yeah, that did improve him a lot? It's like, do you need some scientists with some clipboards being like, you've improved by 50% since last Tuesday?
Literally just indicate that he was still practicing drumming.
Okay.
In the meantime. Because, like, it's not just, like, he wasn't improving his skills over time. It's like, oh, well, I assume if you take a break from drumming for a long time, like, you're gonna get worse. Like, even if slightly.
Dude, it's like riding a bike.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I definitely would say that it is more so akin to a groove you just need to resettle into. Right. And the issue with musicians, I can't speak for Jackson on this, so I guess I won't make that broad of a term. You're always practicing as a musician, depending on how dedicated you are to it. At least for me personally, that's why I listen to so much music, is like I'm constantly running rhythms through my head, I'm running instrumentals through my head, I'm listening to vocals, I'm listening to pitch, I'm listening to tone, I'm listening to harmonics. Everything I do related to music, and like, you know, that's why you get the drummers that'll like tap everything or like pat their feet or whatever, you know, whatever it is. So, and that, they kind of explore that throughout the movie too. You always see Newman, he's like listening to music, he's reading music, he's tapping, he's doing everything he can to expose himself to music. But yeah, I mean, it's very much so, yeah, I guess I can agree with Nico's comment. It's like a bike. You can't really forget too much.
Well, the big thing is, like, he is an insanely good drummer. Like, let's not 100%. Get past that fact. And if it's like a 2 weeks or a month off of something, he'll certainly be a little rusty. But at the end of the day, he's still an insanely good fucking drummer. So, like, he's still going to perform at a very high level. He just might take a second to, like, get back into the groove, which is kind of what happens in that first song, where he just has to ad-lib some shit. And, you know, that builds up his confidence and, you know, de-rusts him a little bit for that, like, incredible performance he gave for the solos of the second one.
I'd like to imagine that this is how the conductor at Nintendo is, you know? He's just fucking screaming at the brass section while they're trying to record for the Toad's Factory theme. Well, alrighty, boys, if that's about all we have to say about this movie. Man, this movie was great. It was probably the most intense film we've ever seen. Once again, J.K. Simmons killed it. Good job, dude. Just like the fucking ending, man. Like, holy shit. Like, I by the fucking time the credits rolled, I didn't even realize I was holding my breath. Like, oh my god, that shit was so intense. I fucking loved it. S-tier film.
Dude, I agree with it being an S-tier, except I gave it an S-.
Bummer.
Still a very good film. I could definitely see myself racing this in the future. I think the big thing that was holding me back from rating it higher is really just the lengths that Newman's willing to go for. Like, there's some suspension of disbelief things that I broke. Like, you're telling me you got hit by a fucking car and just walked it off? Like, that shit's kind of stupid. And there was some other, you know, moments in the film like that. Like, I think the breakup scene was pretty stilted. But that's kind of by design, you know, it didn't really work for me. But generally speaking, it's an incredible film.
I'll go ahead and raise mine a rank. I'll give it an A+. Dude, this movie has the one meme video that I see popped up every once in a while, where he's like, get the fuck out of my face before I fucking demolish you. I think that part was fucking awesome. I think that shit's funny as hell.
There's a lot of memes that stem from this movie.
Oh, I love that shit. Nico, you should use that in the fucking Guapish at the movies transition.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
I do think I was a bit too harsh on this movie. I'm gonna go up to an A.
Holy shit.
Nico, we did it. We raised the rank by 2 points. And actually, thankfully, because you guys raised it by 1 point each, it actually got it into the S tier. It is now officially an S minus tier movie. Our first S tier in what feels like fucking forever, bro. When the fuck was our last one?
I almost wanted to give this movie an S minus. I just don't know why I can fully verify whether I can.
I like the way Dylan uses the word verify.
Verify isn't the word I was thinking, but
Our last
You've
S
been
tier
doing it a
movie
lot the
was
last
the Raid
couple
2.
weeks.
yeah.
The
Which
Raid
was-
2? The Raid 2 was our last S tier?
Yeah, that was over like half a year ago.
Jesus.
Oh my god.
Yeah, all you guys need to do is just pick. Oh wait, no, I'm fucking tripping. The Shawshank Redemption. I totally just
Oh, there
passed
you
that.
go. There
That
you
one was
go.
our most recent one.
Okay. Oh man.
Dude, I'm doing what I can to pick some S tier films. You guys just gotta follow my lead.
Dude, me too. Except I'm not.
Hashtag me too.
Hashtag me too.
Speaking of sexual assault,
Holy shit.
pick some movies, you stupid fucks.
How the fuck does Google know what kind of movie I'm trying to look up? Wait, was this a movie? I feel like this wasn't a movie. Hold on. No, I don't think it was. Damn. Was it? Nico.
Yeah, what's
Was the VeggieTales, like, chocolate bunny thing
up? That's not a movie, no.
Fuck! Okay, never mind. Give me a second. I was really thought that was a movie, and I was gonna be a fitting Easter. I know, albeit late, but it would have been a funny, fitting Easter theme. Give me a moment,
No,
please.
that's just like an episode of it.
Dude, I had that shit on VHS. That's why I'm so convinced it's a fucking movie. Damn. Jackson, are you waiting on me?
Well, yeah, because you every single week you want to rate or pick the opposite of what you picked for my
Valid.
animated or live action.
Okay. I feel like we watched the first one. Men in Black? Have we watched
Whoa.
the
No,
first
we
one?
didn't.
We have not seen
Alright.
that yet.
We're watching Men in Black.
Hot damn.
And you guys
Radical.
know what that means? It sounds like Dylan's picking a live action movie. Are you guys picking live action or animated?
I'm
Please
going
pick the good
animated.
one. Nico's
Yeah,
going
wouldn't
animated,
Dylan be
Tanner?
picking animated?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, well I guess we're watching animated then.
Damn,
Cool.
Tanner.
I hope it's the bad one.
It's the
I
bad
don't-
one.
God,
We are
yes!
watching the 2020 film Earwig and the Witch.
Oh, fucking Jesus, alright.
Do you know what this is, Nico?
Yes, this is the well-known terrible Ghibli film that fucking whatever famous Ghibli guy, his son created his first movie, and it was so bad that he walked out of the film and was like, he's not grown up yet.
Ghibli makes bad movies since when?
This
Isn't
one
this their
is,
first like 3D animated
Yes.
one?
it is a full 3D movie.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
Anyways, the Patreon pick this week, we've got a classic live action film, a fucking bad 3D Ghibli film, and we're following it up with a banger here, the 2010 film Slow Torture Puke Chamber, as requested by Lava Skin. Thank you for the request. Fuck you, by the way.
What a terrible week for films.
Isn't
oh
that
my
also
God.
an anime?
No, this is a live action
Ah, shit.
movie, I think, about people vomiting on each other a lot. I
Dude,
don't really
would've
know
preferred
much.
it being an anime.
I assume it's like a gore snuff film.
Yeah, I think it's exactly what it is.
Oh no.
Well,
Yikes.
Tanner, you want to tell the
Yeah.
people about the Patreon?
And if you guys also want to get puked on, go on over to guapish.com/Patreon or patreon.com/Guapish. And for only $1 a month, you get access to our Discord where you can request movies just like Lava Skin just did. You can also talk to us or request topics for us to do on the show. You also get early access to every episode as well as exclusive access to our pre-Guap show. You also get 500 slime coins. And finally, you get your name read out at the end of every episode, just like I'm going to do right now. Thank you very much to GH, Slayed by J, Blake, Nedagant, I Love Lesbians, Top Ramen Man, Cum Guzzling, Cum Guzzler, I Guzzle Cum, Tutbot, Lucas Ledette, Hunter, and Jacob Edwards. Thank you very much.
That's right, folks. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell. Please subscribe, by the way. We're bleeding subscribers right now. And we'll be seeing you next time. Bye-bye.
Later.